Right center field, going back is Garner. He can't get there. It's up against the wall. Rounding second, digging for third is Stuckey. The relay by Stonert is not in time, and the first pitch of the game is deposited into right center field for a leadoff triple for the Indians.
If you're Southeast Missouri State, that's the way you want to start it. You want to take the first pitch, hit a great shot to right center. Stuckey takes a fastball down and away and goes with it to right center.
First triple of the year for Stuckey.
Great relay play by Alabama. Just ball was hitting the right spot. Good relay, no problems at all.
That'll bring up Brian Hopkins, the left fielder, who's hitting at a .332. This game is picking up right where the first one left off. If you're just joining us, we had a little offense in the first inning of the Florida Atlantic-Auburn game, eventually won by the Blue Wave of FAU, 16-11. Breaking ball misses. It's now 2-0 to Hopkins. The top of the first was very good to Florida Atlantic. They scored 10 runs, facing 3 different Auburn pitchers in the top of the first. The Tigers scored 3 in the bottom half of the first and eventually tied the game at 10-all. Count now 3-0 to Hopkins.
I'm sure some of the Alabama players watch that and they see the leadoff triple and they say, uh-oh, here we go again, another offensive game.
The 3-0 from Sanders right through there for a strike, and it's 3-1. Southeast Missouri State would love to grab the early lead. This is a squad that is 20-1 when they score first. 3-1, slapped foul to the right side and out of play. It's even now, or excuse me, the count's now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Southeast Missouri wants to jump out to lead and try and quiet the crowd down a little bit. Well, we got a lot of baseball to play here.
Hopkins at .332 overall, but he's hitting .500 with a chance to move runners over. The breaking ball just missed high, and Hopkins draws a walk. That'll bring up Clemente Bonilla, the second baseman for the Indians, a 5'9" senior out of Mission Viejo, California. A great Ohio Valley Conference tournament for the left-handed hitter, batting .600 in league play.
Bonilla traveled a long way from Mission Viejo to get to Southeast Missouri.
Not easy to get into Cape Girardeau.
Not very easy
from California. I have made that trek from Birmingham to the hometown of Rush Limbaugh. Breaking ball misses high. 1 ball, no strikes to Bonilla.
I think Southeast Missouri will be very patient at the plate right here. Shane has thrown some balls that are out of the strike zone. 4 out of the last 5 here.
A strike on the outside corner evens the count at a ball and a strike. Bonilla trying to extend a current 17-game hitting streak for Mark Hogan's squad.
If you're Alabama, you want a ground ball double play right here. Just give up one, protect yourself from giving up a big inning.
Another strike from the outside corner puts the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Bonilla is grounded into just 2 double plays on the year. Sanders would love to get one right here, and he would take 2 outs and give up a run.
No doubt about it. Early in the game right now, you're playing outs. You still got 9 at-bats.
1-2, line but foul. The bleachers are empty down the left field line for the most part, but the grandstand area completely full here in Tuscaloosa. There's a look at Denver Stuckey, the runner at third base. Brian Hopkins is over at first. Nobody gone as Southeast Missouri State, the champions of the regular season and postseason tournament in the Ohio Valley Conference, try to get on the board first.
Coach Wells thinks Southeast Missouri might have something going right now with first and third play. What he wants more than anything else is a strikeout or to pop up to the infield so he can set up the double play.
The 1-2 misses high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bonilla. And the California native, a year ago, an outstanding year. Most valuable player in the Ohio Valley Conference, leading the conference in walks, and 382 as well. Also, for a little guy, pretty good slugging percentage at 645.
Hopkins at first base has Sanders worried a little bit on the mound.
2-2 pitch just misses outside, and he's run it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second full count in a row that Sanders has had to deal with.
I think you'll see some action on this play with a 3-2 count. Hopkins at first. Be interesting to see if Coach Wells does a little fake the third again.
They do bluff.
Well, they're just trying to see if they can get a strikeout throw out and get out of this thing with 0 runs right here. Trying to keep them honest at first base. Probably see a pick right here.
Runner goes from first. Ground ball. That is inside the bag. That'll score at least 1. Heading for third base will be Hopkins. He'll get the green light. He will score without drawing a throw. It is a 2-run double off the bat of Clemente Bonilla. And Southeast Missouri State has grabbed a 2-0 lead.
Great piece of hitting right there. Started the runner. By starting the runner, they score him from first base on the double. Shane Sanders throws a fastball and didn't locate it. Got a little bit up. Bonilla hits it down the line for a double. Scoring the runner from first base, Hopkins, who was stealing on the pitch. That's what happens when you start runners. You give yourself a chance to get that extra base, and that's what they did right there.
Now to bring up Vern Hatton, the center fielder. We talked about him in the open, leading the squad in 9 different offensive categories on the year. Stands in with a runner at second, 2 already in, and nobody out here in the top of the first. Breaking ball misses. It's 1-0.
Vern Hatton, your 4th hole hitters, up there trying to hit the ball. Pull something. Most times you're trying to move the runner. This part of the ball game, he's up 2-0. He's going to take his cuts.
Fouls that one off to the right side. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Sanders trying to get out of a jam, looking for an out.
As Chris has said, he's their offensive stellar right here. He's leads them in 9 offensive categories, so Coach Hogan's got to be feeling good about himself with a guy at second, no outs. 4th hole hitter up.
1-1. Catching the outside corner. It's a ball and 2 strikes now. Sanders has a lot of postseason experience, even though Alabama did not make it even to the Southeastern Conference tournament a year ago. He pitched in the Junior College World Series for Wallace-Hansville Community College back during his sophomore year collegiately. The 1-2 breaking ball rings him up as he throws him with a pitch on the outside corner. It's a big out, number 1 here in the first.
That was a big pitch for Shane Sanders right there. Breaking ball on the outer portion of the plate. Sits down Hatton. That's a great job getting it out right there after giving up a big double and hit it before. I think he's settling in a little bit. First 2 batters, first pitch triple and 3-2 count on the next 2 batters.
See the numbers for McDonald this year. The 5'11", 200-pounder from Melbourne, Australia. One of 2 Australians on this Southeast Missouri State team. Both made their way first to Iowa Central Community College, the other being Brad Purcell, who will be the starter in tomorrow's game, regardless of whether the Indians play in the elimination game at noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock locally, or in the winner's bracket game at 4 Eastern. Snap throw to second, and they almost picked Bonilla off.
It's a great job right there. It's a fundamentally sound team doing those type of things early in the game. Down 2, has the command to just do a quick pick at second base. Almost had him right there.
Stoner tried to kick the hand away from the bag. Almost worked. Fastball misses outside. It's now 2-0 to McDonald. He's riding a 9-game hitting streak. Couple of homers and 10 RBI for the Southeast Missouri State catcher during the OVC tournament.
This will be big right here for Alabama to get out of this with just 2.
Ground ball gets into the outfield. They'll round third. The throw to the plate. It will be on the money. Bonilla is retired for out number 2. Taking second on the throw was McDonald. But a gun from right field by Travis Garner.
That was a great play. Good piece of hitting at the plate. That was a great piece of hitting at the plate, but Travis Garner comes up and throws a one-hop strike right to home plate. Tags Bonilla out right there. That's a great job. Brown staying at the plate, waiting for him to get to him right there. On the other hand, McDonald does a great job reading the throw from right field, getting it to second base.
Jim Wells will come out for a visit on the mound, the head coach of the Crimson Tide in his 8th year of reviving this program in Tuscaloosa. Alabama has made 2 appearances in the NCAA College World Series championship game. Back when David Magadan was the Golden Spikes Award winner nationally and leading Alabama. They faced Texas in the national title game, but ran up against a couple of guys named Schiraldi and Clemens. I don't know whatever happened to them, but they weren't too bad either.
1983 was that year.
And then in 97, Alabama made it to the title game again, falling to conference rival LSU in the national championship game. But Jim Wells has done an incredible job of resurrecting a program that had been at the bottom of the conference prior to his arrival. Swing and a miss by Zach Borowiak. Puts the count at 0-1.
I think Jim just walked out there to calm Shane down. Tell him, hey, let's not give in right here. Let's go at this guy pretty good.
Throw to the plate, resulting in the 11th outfield assist this year for Garner. But the ground ball to Stonard gets Alabama out of the inning. But not until the Indians draw first blood. A couple runs on 3 hits, and they leave a runner on base. Played a half inning in Tuscaloosa. 2-0 Indians.
NCAA football influence your life?
NCAA football goes beyond the playing field. It prepares you for the game of life. It teaches you confidence. For me, NCAA football helped me to develop my skills, to ready myself for any situation.
NCAA football. Pass it on.
Quick start for Southeast Missouri State in the opening day of action at the NCAA Baseball Regional. Defensively, the Indians of head coach Mark Hopkins will have, they'll have Hopkins in left field. Mark Hogan's team led by Hopkins in left, Hatton in center, and Govek over in right field. Stuckey and Borowiak make up the left side of the infield with Bonilla and Hoffman on the right side. McDonald's the catcher, and on the hill for Southeast Missouri State, Brandon Smith, 11-2 with a 4.15 ERA, and believe it or not, a lot of people consider him the number 2 guy on this staff.
He's their number 2 guy, but talked to Coach Hogan a little bit before the ball game, and he thinks they're about equal. Him and Purcell, he says he's going to throw it in the upper 80s, throw a pretty good breaking ball to go with it, and he has confidence in both of them. He had 89 innings pitched this year, so he has 2 starters that toted them through this season, and he's one of them.
Alabama's squad has hit .313 on the year. Travis Garner, who had been down in the lineup much of the year, has moved back into the leadoff role with Scott McClanahan, who had been the leadoff hitter, now in the cleanup spot during the postseason. Brent Boyd, we told you about earlier, hits in the 5 spot with White, Pavkovich, Welch, and Rice, also providing some big hits during that SEC baseball tournament in Hoover, Alabama, to help the Tide win the tournament crown. Mark Hogan, former head coach, 2 different stints in the state of Alabama. Junior college ranks first, and then at Division II Livingston University, now known as West Alabama, heading up his alma mater, Southeast Missouri State. Great job he has done with them, as the first pitch from Smith is a strike. It's 0-1. Garner, one of the few Tide hitters that did not fare extremely well in the SEC tournament. He did have a home run and 6 RBI, including a grand slam in a big win against Florida that actually put the Tide into the championship game. But he hit only .261 overall for the tournament. Slaps the 0-2 pitch into right field for a leadoff base hit.
That's a great piece of hitting right there, 0-2. I don't think Coach Hogan will be very happy with that 0-2 pitch, and as you see the catcher go out to the mound right now to talk to their pitcher, and that's a great job of hitting right now by Garner.
That'll bring up Peter Stonard, team leader with a .409 average. I mentioned David Magadan earlier. He has the all-time Alabama single-season batting average mark at over 500, believe it or not, for the year. But Stonard has the second highest total at about 410 throughout the regular season. Now the season mark at 409. He's currently riding a 7-game hitting streak for the Crimson Tide at about as smooth a stroke as you'll see in college baseball.
Just a solid hitter, especially for a second baseman to have the power he's got. He can hit the ball to all fields. There he goes right there, right up the middle.
So the Tide has the first 2 men aboard here in the bottom half of inning number 1. First inning has produced a total of 15 runs already through 2 games that we've seen. The majority of those coming from Florida Atlantic in their 10-run top of the first en route to their 16-11 win over Auburn. The Tigers had 3. Southeast Missouri State scored 2, and now Jeremy Brown will come to the plate trying to add to the first inning party here in Tuscaloosa. He needs just 3 RBI for the Alabama career record. And 1 swing of the bat would do just that here.
He can do it with 1 swing of the bat, and I think he'll be looking to take that 1 swing right now. As you see, the first 2 hits from the Alabama hitters are solid base hits right up the middle, right through the 4-hole.
Brown, a Johnny Bench Award finalist last year and this season as well. Of course, goes to the nation's top collegiate catcher. The runners go. Breaking ball misses. They'll throw to second. Both runners are safe. Jim Wells starting things, pushing some buttons early, and it puts runners in scoring position with nobody out now.
That's a great job by Coach Wells right there. You got Smith on the mound. He just gave up 2 hits. He goes with a high leg kick. Southeast Missouri opts to go to second base with it instead of first base, and there it is.
The breaking ball turned out to be a great pitch to run on as well. Stonard and Garner both with great speed. Stonard 17 of 25 now in the year. Garner leads the squad with 22 of 26 as Jim Gatewood, the third base coach, gets a word from Dale Luker, the umpire there. Alabama's a squad 77 of 102 stolen base attempts this year, and a 2-0 count to Jeremy Brown, who became the first player in SEC baseball history to record 200 walks and 300 hits with a couple of free passes at the SEC tournament. Takes a strike there. It's 2-1.
We talked a little bit about it in the first ball game of the tournament. The seniors have to step up, and that's what Alabama has had happen all year for them. Their seniors stepped up. You got Brown, a chance to tie this ball game up with a base hit right here in the bottom of the first.
Fastball misses outside, and he's run it to 3-1. Just joining us, Southeast Missouri State, a couple of runs at the top half of their inning on 3 hits. Alabama with 2 hits already, trying to knot the score, perhaps take the lead here in the bottom half of inning number 1 after leadoff singles from both Garner and Stonard. Breaking ball, a beauty. It falls in for a strike, and he's run it full 3-2.
Well, that shows some confidence right there. Man at second and third. Third hole hitter, 3-1 count for a breaking ball right in there. I think Brown was sitting on fastball.
3-2, tapped foul near the third base dugout, occupied by Alabama tonight. NCAA regional format, trying to make it as much of a neutral site as possible. They designate well ahead of time the home team is in the third base dugout, which is different from Alabama. They normally occupy the first base dugout. Another 3-2, misses outside, and the bases are loaded for the cleanup hitter, Scott McClanahan.
Right there, Coach Hogan didn't want to give in. Went with breaking ball, 3-2 count, just missed off the outer part of the plate right there. Brings up Scott McClanahan there, leader in RBIs.
And in home runs with 14. 60 ribbies, 14 RBI again. McClanahan spent most of the season as the biggest leadoff man in college baseball at about 6'4", 225. Now hitting in the 4 spot, and he takes a pitch outside for ball 1.
That's right, Chris. The leadoff guy with those numbers are pretty good. Home runs and RBIs. He hadn't moved to the 4th hole till late in the year.
6'3", 225 officially for the senior out of Hartselle, Alabama. One of only 5 seniors on the Tide roster. Swings and misses at that breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
That was a great changeup right there. Coach Hogan's throwing the whole book at him right now. He's not giving in, trying to pitch ahead in the count. He's got a 2-0 lead, but he's throwing fastball, breaking ball, changeup. Might try and baffle the Tide hitters here.
1-1 popped up. Foul ground. Will it get into the seats? I believe it will, and it does. A break for the Tide as McClanahan fouls one off and falls behind in the count 1-2. He has great speed. On the year, he has grounded into 5 double plays, however, and he has a tendency to pop up a lot.
Brandon Smith has showed some composure right there. Loaded bases up, no outs, and he's just throwing every pitch in his repertoire right now. He's still fastball, curveball, changeup, doesn't matter. He's right back and letting it go. Like you said, it's tough to double up McClanahan. Good speed, center fielder.
Rolls this one foul as the count remains 1-2. Dimensions here, 325 down the left field and right field lines. It's 365 in the alleys and 400 to straightaway center field. A tough place to hit the ball out of the park. Virtually no breeze whatsoever here in Tuscaloosa today. The 1-2. Fastball low, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We told you McClanahan's hitting .312 on the year, roughly the same average with the bases loaded, right at 300 on the year with the bases juiced.
If you're Southeast Missouri State, you need a pop up to the infield or a ground ball, try and get a double play. Give up 1 instead of 2.
Another one fouled off and out of play as McClanahan battles to stay alive.
It's good battle, right? Good at battle right now.
Travis Garner's the runner at third. Peter Stonard is at second base, and over at first is Jeremy Brown. Nobody gone. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Alabama trailing Southeast Missouri State 2-0. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Made him chase a breaking ball outside. That is a big-time pitch from Brandon Smith.
That was a great pitch right there by Smith. McClanahan battled, then he dropped down a little bit, went with the curveball. That was a little bit off and got him to chase it. That's a great pitch right there by Brandon Smith.
Brent Boyd again last week. Southeastern Conference Tournament most valuable player after hitting .500 in league play. He hit safely in all 5 games in that tournament after going about 0 for 13 2 weeks ago in Baton Rouge in the regular season finale. Starts him off with a fastball at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. That was a tough weekend for the Tide. Bama lost 3 straight in Baton Rouge and in the process lost the regular season title to South Carolina after leading most of the year. You get the feeling that something big's going to happen for one team or the other here with Boyd at the plate. He's hitting .429 with the bases loaded, but he also leads the SEC in grounding into 8 double plays.
That's what you're trying to stay away from. At third base right now, that's another good pitch by Brandon Smith. Coach Gatewood's trying to get in Brandon Smith's head out there. Travis Garner at third base is doing a little jockeying over there, trying to get a forced balk called right there.
You'll see Garner dance around a lot of the base paths, especially at third. Catch the eye of the pitcher, Brandon Smith. Here's the 1-2 to Boyd. He set up outside again. This time Boyd's able to lay off of it, and it's even at 2-2. Basically the same approach that Smith took with McClanahan.
Trying to stay away. I'm sure Coach Hogan watched some of the first game, and he knows balls down the line fly. So he's trying to keep it outer half instead of inner half and see if he can get a ground ball to a shortstop or second baseman and turn a double play. Garner over at third base has Smith a little bit worried. He's jockeying down the line, and that's what he's trying to get a little balk call right here by the umpire at home plate for a flinch or something like that.
2-2 to Boyd. Breaking ball. He laid off of it, or did he? They will appeal down at first. Ron Sebastian says nope. He did not make an attempt, and he's run it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded here in the bottom half of the first inning. Again, Garner at third. Stoner, the runner, at second. And Jeremy Brown occupies first for Alabama. Tide trying to get on the board. They trail 2-0 as they bat in the bottom half of inning number 1 in Tuscaloosa. The payoff pitch, breaking ball, line right center field. Coming on is Govek. He will make the running catch. Tagging is Garner. The throw will not be in time. It's a sac fly RBI for Brent Boyd, and it's 2-1.
It's a great piece of hitting right there. Breaking ball down and away. Looked like the same pitch McClanahan chased a little bit out, but Boyd gets enough bat on it, drives it deep enough to get him back to a 2-1 ball game.
Runners had to hold at first and second. In fact, they had to go back to their bags as Govek made a very nice running catch.
That was a great job by Govek. Great job keeping the ball down so the runners on the bases didn't know if he was going to miss the cut or not. So he kept them in first and second instead of second and third.
Now to bring up Chad White, freshman left fielder from Prattville, Alabama. Played very well in SEC tournament play for the Tide. He's been platooning in left field along with Grant Redding. Redding, a right-handed hitter who will get the start against most lefties. Fastball misses high. It's 1-0. White hitting .375 in SEC tournament play, went 8 for 18.
Jim Wells running early has Southeast Missouri jockeying around out there behind second base, which opens up a big hole over there between short and third base for White to put one through right there.
Takes another pitch high here, and it's 2-0. He has gone the opposite way with a number of his hits this year. Alabama very much a line drive team. They've not hit anywhere near the number of homers as we saw in 1997 when they went to the national title game. Of course, they had 4 players that hit over 20 home runs that season.
It was also the year that they changed the bats.
That would be a good thing to do.
They did.
When
they
everybody
changed the bats, went to -3s, and that was home run derby right back then.
Here's the 2-1 from Smith. Misses high and away. It's 3-1. Adam Pavkovich would bat next. He waits in the on-deck circle for Alabama.
Jeremy Brown at first base has a gigantic lead over there, trying to prevent a ground ball short throw to second base. He's past the cut of the grass.
(3-1). Breaking ball that he couldn't catch up to, and he's run it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and the runners will get a head start here. Stoner from second base and Jeremy Brown from first.
Happened in the first game right here, Chris. Guy got an extra base hit, scored a guy from first base on a 3-2 count. See if it can happen again twice in one day here.
And they will look the runner back, make sure it doesn't get too much of a head start.
Fundamental baseball.
2 runs on 3 hits for Southeast Missouri State in the top of the first. Bama with a run on 2 hits thus far in the bottom half of inning number 1. Payoff pitch with the runners going. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball, and Smith gets out of the inning with minimal damage. For the Tide in the bottom of the first, a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We've played 1 inning in Tuscaloosa. 2-1, the Indians leading the Tide.
Don't want to scratch that paint? Tired of bumping your head on the truck cap? Tired of climbing over the tailgate? Just want an easier way of getting things out of the bed of that truck? Then try the Extend-A-Hook, the amazing new product that allows you to stand at the end of your truck, having your items and cargo come right to you. It's not magic, it's the Extend-A-Hook, and it's so simple to use. Simply extend the device to the length that you need, tighten and hook your desired item, and simply pull. That's all there is to it. You'll wonder what you ever did without it. Now through this special TV offer, you can order your own Extend-A-Hook for the amazing low price of $29.95. But wait, if you call now, we'll lower the price to just $19.95, and we'll include our mounting kit absolutely free. Call 1-800-435-2294. That's 1-800-435-2294. We guarantee just use it once, and you'll be hooked. This product is not available in stores, so pick up the telephone right now and call 1-800-435-2294 to order your Extend-A-Hook with free mounting kit today for $19.95. Operators are standing by. Call now.
Along with Tim Parents and Chris Stewart, back with you in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the Crimson Tide trails the Indians. No, not that bunch. Southeast Missouri State Indians. in Tuscaloosa at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Game number 2 of the opening day of action. Florida Atlantic out of the Atlantic Sun Conference knocked off SEC member Auburn 16-11, thanks in large part to a 10-run top of the first inning. Believe it or not, Auburn was able to tie the score by the end of the 3rd inning at 10 apiece, but Florida Atlantic got solo home runs in the 4th inning, a pair of them, and went on to win 16-11 to earn a spot in tomorrow's winners bracket game at 4 o'clock Eastern. David Lawson, Eric Hoffman, and Ryan Govek, bottom third of the order, lead off. Shot to Pavkovich. What a play. No. Boyd came off the bag. That was a great stab by Pavkovich, and the throw to Boyd at first just pulled him off the bag, and we'll look at it once again here.
That's a great play by shortstop right there. Staying on the ground, he just threw it up the line just a tad, pulled Boyd right off the bag. That's a great job, great call by the umpire, but that's a great play up the middle right there by Pavkovich.
Infield single, 4th hit of the game. And it puts the leadoff man aboard for the 2nd straight inning, as Eric Hoffman will come to the plate. Hoffman, the first baseman for Southeast Missouri State, just a freshman, a redshirt out of St. Charles, Missouri. Saw his numbers right at .230 on the year. Sanders will throw over there to keep Lawson close to the bag. Lawson, pretty good numbers offensively at .300 on the year, but 0 for 1 in the stolen base department.
I think that's what Jim Wells was trying to do, is just trying to see if they were going to bunt him up. Early in a ball game, different philosophies in tournament play, trying to get up on the, get some runs on the board early.
Boyd will field. He'll flip it on a hop to Stoner. Well, I assure you that's not how he drew it up. Sanders was the intended recipient of that flip. Turned out to be a perfect bounce pass, though, to Stoner.
Whatever works, works. Right now for Alabama. Here it is, a bunt. Boyd fields it. See Sanders going right by there. Sanders apparently knew Stoner was going to be at first base. Flips it up, gets the out. Wasn't pretty, but they got an out. That's what Jim Wells wanted right there.
But
he's out on the mound right now discussing that situation, I think.
He's making sure everybody's on the same page, and if not, he's going to roll it up and hit him with it, I think.
I think he was a little bit surprised that they're bunting in the 2nd inning of a 9-inning ball game, the way they've been hitting the ball. But Coach Hogan in the first base dugout thinks if he can score one inning, his pitcher, Brandon Smith, can shut them down.
It's the 4th sacrifice bunt this year by Hoffman, as the number 9 hitter, the right fielder Ryan Govek, stands in. He is coming off a 2 for 9 performance in the OVC tournament up in Paducah, Kentucky.
Coach Wells thinks they might bunt again here. He's got the corners in on the grass with 1 out, man at 2nd.
It's Lawson at the bottom of your screens, the runner at 2nd base. Fly ball, deep right field. Garner going back. He will look up to forget about it. It's gone. A 2-run homer off the bat of the number 9 hitter in the order, Ryan Govek. That is his first home run of the year, and only RBIs number 9 and 10 on the season.
Tournament time. Tournament time, you need one player to get hot for you. Doesn't matter which one. It doesn't have to be the one who carried you through the whole year. Coach Wells playing his corner guys in. Shane Sanders throws the ball right down the middle. Right down the middle, aluminum bats like we talked about earlier. He pulls it right down the right field line and into the grassy knoll out there. First home run of the year.
Back to the top of the order in Denver Stuckey, who had a triple in his first plate appearance. He lays down a bunt. Rice charges, throws just in time. That is not an easy play. Stuckey with excellent speed, and Rice had to field it perfectly, and he did just that.
That's a very good job right there. You can see Southeast Missouri coming out with the short game here. Bunting in the 2nd inning, try to drag bunt with 1 out right there, and Rice makes a great play.
Concerned look on the face of Jim Wells as his squad trails by 3. Southeast Missouri State still batting here at the top of the second as Brian Hopkins stands in. He walked and scored in the first. Can't catch up to the breaking ball. It's 0-1.
Nice pitch right there by Shane Sanders. Giving up the home run, comes right back, pours a fastball for a strike, and comes back with a breaking ball for a strike.
Goes with a heater there, and it's 0-2.
Had a little bit extra on that one. A little upset with himself about giving up the home run to the 9th hole hitter.
Just does stay alive as the count remains 0-2. 4 runs on 5 hits. A run on 2 hits for Alabama, as the Indians apparently didn't read the papers to see that they are the number 4 seed. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. Strikeout number 2 on the game by Sanders, but the Indians score 2 more runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. Through an inning and a half in Tuscaloosa, Southeast Missouri State leads the nation's number 3 seed.
For years, Pennzoil has helped keep your car running like new. Now they have a brand new product that keeps your car looking like new. Pennzoil Total Care.
Introducing Pennzoil Total Care, the revolutionary new car care product that gives your car a professional quality finish inside and out. Use Pennzoil Total Care on your whole car. Wash and wax the paint, clean and protect the interior. It even does windows and chrome. It's easy. Just rinse off the car, sponge on Pennzoil Total Care, and buff to a beautiful shine. Call today to order the Pennzoil Total Care Kit. You get the sponge, the microfiber towel, and enough Pennzoil Total Care for 10 complete applications, all for just $14.95. Pennzoil Total Care, the fast and easy all-in-one car care product that cleans, shines, and protects your whole car, guaranteed. Call right now and you'll also get a free can of Pennzoil Z4, the all-in-one spray lubricant. Call this number to order now.
Pennzoil Total Care, a total revolution in car care.
Not much to smile about for Alabama fans. Their team trails early, 4-1, as a home run off the bat of that man, right fielder Ryan Govek, pushed the Indian lead to 4-1 as we go to the bottom half of inning number 2. Adam Pathkovich, Zach Welch, and Alan Rice, bottom third of the Bama order, all due to face Brandon Smith, who really, all things considered, did a pretty good job in the first inning, Tim. He gave up back-to-back singles to start the game to Garner and Stoner, then walked Jeremy Brown, but only allowed 1 run with the bases loaded and nobody out.
First inning of a regional tournament at the home of Alabama, and you get out of there with just 1 run if the bases loaded. That's a great job. Like we talked about in that first half, he didn't give up and went right at him. Went with his breaking ball, change up, fastball, everything he had, he went with it.
Tied shortstop, falls behind at the count 1-2. Pathkovich hit at the number 2 spot in the order a good bit of the year, but with Alabama struggling offensively in Baton Rouge, Jim Wells juggled the lineup a bit and has stayed with his same basic look in the postseason. Breaking ball misses outside. It's 2-2.
It's a marathon throughout the year. Sometimes you have to give some guys a little rest and make the moves, and Coach Wells has done a great job this year making the right moves at the right time.
2-2 pitch, hit him on the hand. You could feel that one, couldn't you?
Tried to throw a fastball up and in, just up a little too much. That got him. That was a fastball up and in. He's trying to set up this great breaking ball that he's been throwing. It's just right on the wrist. He's going to smart a little bit for a long time right there.
12th hit batsman this year by Smith. Only the second time that Pathkovich has been hit by a pitch. Brings up Zach Welch, starting his 3rd straight game in the DH role for Alabama. And he has started platooning in the DH spot along with Bo Herod. Only has a .233 season average, but swung the bat well in the SEC tournament. 4 hits, 3 RBI in tournament games last weekend. Tried to hit a 3-run homer with only one man on base right there.
That was a great pitch right there by Brandon Smith. The one thing Alabama is doing right now is running his pitch count up. That's the one thing they're going to try and do. They think their depth is going to overtake Southeast Missouri, who has, you know, they're 2 stellar pitchers, but they're going to try and get in the pen if they can by the 5th or 6th inning right here.
Good look at the Wellington, Alabama native, Zach Welch. As Brandon Smith will get the sign for McDonald. And now deals the 2-1. Lined into left field. That'll be a base hit. Pavkovich will round second, but hold up there. The Tide, for the 2nd straight inning, has the first 2 men aboard to start their at bat.
Very good piece of hitting right there. Fastball away, went with the pitch. Line drive right between short and third.
3rd hit of the game for the Tide, and Alan Rice will stand in. A freshman from Pelham, Alabama. .247 average, but the real story for him has been with the glove. As trip to the mound will be made by Jeremy Tyson, the pitching coach for Southeast Missouri State. And although the Indians and the Tide have never met, I think somewhat of an advantage for these players for Southeast Missouri State, their coaching staff certainly were able to explain something about the atmosphere they would be coming into. You've got again the pitching coach there coming in. Jeremy Tyson pitched 2 years for 2 national championship teams at LSU. Their head coach Mark Hogan, a former grad assistant at Mississippi State, and you've got Scott Southard, the other assistant coach, who is a South Alabama grad. So these guys can at least explain to them maybe what they would experience here in Tuscaloosa facing Alabama.
That's one of the things Coach Hogan thinks he did, is tell them, hey, it's going to be a wild atmosphere. Just be ready for that. That's what his schedule was set to do when he went to Oklahoma. He went to Missouri, went to some bigger schools, went to Arkansas to try and set him up. He's got his seniors. He thought this was one of his better ball clubs. And, you know, right now they're playing like they've been here before.
Rice shows bunt, pulls back as the pitch misses low. 1 ball, no strikes. Rice has been very successful with bunt attempts. He is 2nd on the team with 10 sacrifice hits on the year. Adam Pavkovich leads the squad with a dozen. He's the man just to the bottom right of your screen, the runner at 2nd. Pops that bunt up and it rolls foul. While he's had 10, he has also popped out on a couple of occasions this year trying to move runners over.
I think Coach Tyson walked out to the mound right there just to calm his guys down. He doesn't want a big eruption by Alabama. He tried to tell them early in the game, let's get outs, throw the ball in there, Brendan. You're the guy we want out here. And let's just play the bunt situation and get outs right here.
Runners, or excuse me, defensively, they're in on the corners, but a good bunt. They'll go to 3rd, though, and get the lead runner. That is a great play defensively by Brandon Smith, as the bunt was a little bit too hard. And Smith hopped off the mound, was able to make the play.
I tell you what, that bunt wasn't as bad as Smith made it look. He came over there and just made a great play. And that's one of the things that you add on the mound. If you're a good athlete, can fill your position, it makes that bunter be perfect. That ball was not a bad bunt right there by Rice, and Smith just bounced off that mound and made a great play, getting a lead runner.
Back to the top of the order, and Travis Garner, who singled and scored in the 1st. Takes a strike there. It's 0-1.
Brandon Smith in a jam again in the 2nd inning. Let's see if he can get out of this one without giving up more than 1.
Another fastball, another strike, and it's 0-2.
Coach Hogan went in thinking he could paint the outside, and he's doing it right now. Brandon Smith, his pitcher. Last at bat, Garner took an 0-2 pitch to right field on the line drive. Let's see if Smith can make a better pitch this time.
The 0-2 just misses high and away. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Alabama left 2 runners on the base paths in the 1st. Then Smith was able to get 3 straight outs. He left the first 2 men aboard here before recording an out. Breaking ball just misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, Brandon Smith's nibbling on the outer half.
Zach Welch, the runner at second. Alan Rice, the runner at first. In a 4-1 Southeast Missouri State lead. Here, the bottom of the second. Tried to paint the outside corner with a fastball, but just missed, and it's now full 3-2.
Interesting situation right here, Chris, to see if Coach Wells starts to run a 3-2 right here. He did it in early and he gambled a little bit.
Jim Gatewood looked in to get the sign from Wells. Now relays those thoughts to the hitter and the base runners.
Southeast Missouri's making a little movement towards second base.
Oh, and they've got him picked off. They'll throw to second, and they've got Welch. You called it perfectly, Coach.
Well, the inside move right there. That's one thing you try and do is prevent them from getting a running start. Sometimes it doesn't work. Everybody in baseball says that's a dumb move right there, but there it is. Works in a big part of the ball game. Brandon Smith trying to get out of a jam and may do it right here.
Base running mistake by the Tide. Great defense by the Indians. Still a 3-2 pitch upcoming. The runner going. The breaking ball sweeps outside. So Alabama, at the moment, has run itself out of a big inning, but they can still make up for it. Only 2 gone, and runners at first and second for Peter Stonard, who singled in his first plate appearance.
2 big base running plays right now in the first inning. Stoner, the guy getting thrown out at home plate, then right there the inside move. 2 big base runners.
Tied 0 for 3 right now with runners in scoring position tonight. Stoner trying to improve that stat, but he takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1.
Stoner's their most disciplined hitter. He'll stay right there and stay in with every pitch. Hit the ball to all fields.
The 0-1 misses low. Evens the count at a ball and a strike.
Brandon Smith got to go right at him now. Men at first and second. He can't fool around with Brown and Clanahan in the on-deck circle over there.
Breaking ball, and you mentioned the discipline. Stonard able to lay off that pitch. Looked awfully inviting before the bottom fell out of it.
God, he's a good hitter right there. Just stays in there. His feet, both feet stay on the ground through the swing. It's a great job.
A Missouri native, Peter Stonard, playing against a home state team out of Clayton, Missouri, trying to build on his 17 2-out RBI total on the year, but he takes a pitch to put the count at 3-1.
Stoner will be in a 1-pitch, 1-spot hit.
Rice is at second base. Garner is your runner at first.
He's looking fastball right down the middle. Anything other than that, I think he'll take.
Inside corner with a fastball. What a pitch there from Smith to run it full 3-2.
The runners will be going again right here, Chris. Something down the line or in the gap. Scores 2.
Just in the second inning, and this is already his 5th full count. He's walked 2 hitters thus far and has struck out 1, and we got a balk called on Brandon Smith. So that'll move the runners to second and third, and Mark Hogan wants an explanation from home plate umpire Chuck Lyon.
He's on the rubber looking for a signal right there, and then he flinched. He did flinch with his left glove. He can't move like that. He's got to stay still. Once he makes a move towards home plate, he has to come set. That's a great call by the home plate umpire right there, Chuck Lyon.
3rd balk of the year, and Mark Hogan wanting a little further explanation. He's coached in 1 game in this stadium before. Several years ago, he brought Lurleen Wallace Community College here to play an exhibition game, an inter-squad game with Alabama. City lost that one to Barry Schallenberger's team, so he's 0-1 coming in, but try to get some redemption, if you will. 3-2 pitch misses low and in, and he's loaded him up for Jeremy Brown.
Chris, he might have played on this field, but not at this stadium. Since the stadium's been built, this is the SEC right now. All of them have big, beautiful stadiums, and the facility, the field's the same, but everything else has changed since he was here last.
Beautiful home for the Crimson Tide. as Jeremy Brown try to make the scoreboard look a little bit better for the home folks. They trail 4-1. The bases are loaded with 2 out. Fastball to Brown, misses low and away. It's 1-0. We mentioned Brown with 11 home runs. He got a homer against Florida in the elimination game Saturday night. That was his first home run in more than a month. The previous homer had come here in Tuscaloosa when they met the Gators back in regular season play.
Brandon Smith on the mound right now, I think, is trying to nibble a little too much. 4-1 lead, he's got to go right at him, but he understands if he goes right in the middle part of the plate, what can happen.
He's hitting over 570 with the bases loaded this year. 1-0 pitch, but he popped it up, and it's going to be into the seats. A break for the Tide. Looked like that one was going to stay in fair ground initially. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball ripped into left center field. That'll score a couple at least. Off the wall as Rice and Garner score. Heading for the plate will be Stoner. The throw is not in time. Holding at second will be Brown. It's a 3-run double, and we are tied at 4 apiece.
That's a great piece of hitting right there by Jeremy Brown. Brandon Smith tried to locate one away and just left it over the middle part of the plate right there.
Not only is the Tide back in it, but so's the crowd.
There it is right there. Breaking ball. It stayed on the inner part of the plate. Jeremy Brown, you leave something on the inner part of the plate, he's going to hit it, and he's going to hit it hard. He hits most of the time into that scoreboard right there. He drove it into the left center gap to clear the bases. Tie ball game again with Clanahan at the plate, their RBI leader.
He is the all-time RBI leader in Alabama baseball history. Now 227 career ribbies, surpassing Andy Phillips. One of the greats to wear an Alabama uniform.
With first base open, I don't think you'll see McClanahan getting anything on the inner half.
He did get a pitch to hit, though. It was grounded to third, and Stuckey makes the long throw to first to retire the side. But Bama scores 3 runs on just 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. Through 2 in Tuscaloosa. We're knotted at 4 at the NCAA Regional.
Got a minute? Introducing Jet Wet. Why waste your time and effort with messy liquids or hand-applied products? Look, with Jet Wet, you just spray it on. It's the world's fastest, wettest high-gloss tire shine. No wiping. It's streak-free, fast-drying, water-resistant. And the jet black wet look lasts for weeks. Amazing. Less than 60 seconds for all 4 tires, and you're done. Jet Wet, because wetter is better.
You know, one of those days when it's raining outside and you really want to watch a good old movie?
Curling up with your lovey-dovey.
Get some popcorn, get the family in.
Now, with the satellite dish,
You might have a few problems.
the picture, it freezes. There's a lot of clicking.
Sometimes we get static. It's a mess. And the harder it rains, the worse the picture gets.
Now, call me crazy, but when the weather's bad outside, isn't that when I want to watch TV inside?
Satellite TV isn't all it's dished up to be.
I mean, just because it's raining.
Brand new ball game in Tuscaloosa, along with Tim Parents, and I'm Chris Stewart. Glad to have you with us as Alabama, thanks to a 3-run double off the bat of Jeremy Brown, has tied the score with that man's team. Mark Hogan's Southeast Missouri State Indians would like to welcome everybody watching the game on Comcast Sports Southeast, Channel 18 in Florence, Alabama, and also those of you watching us back in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Pleased to welcome our audience in all throughout the nation as NCAA regional baseball action comes to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Game number 2 of the opening day of action there in Tallahassee. Clemente Bonilla leads it off for Southeast Missouri State in the 3rd. He had a 2-run double to score the initial runs of the game for Southeast Missouri State in the 1st.
Chris, I think you see a different Shane Sanders on the mound. That last, after he gave up the hit last inning, he came out with some fire that last at bat. I threw it right past him with some fastballs right there. He had great command on a fastball and a breaking ball.
One of the few times, too, Tim, he's gotten ahead of the count. The only other time came for the final out of that second inning when he struck out Brian Hopkins on an 0-2 count.
That's the one thing Shane does do, though. He falls behind a lot. And that's the one thing that he will get up in the pitch count.
The 1-2. Breaking ball just missed.
Right there, he's trying to nibble on the outer half, trying to keep the ball away, trying to get a corner or a ground ball up the middle right there. Now he's got to come get that fire in his eyes and goes right back at him.
2-2 pitch, breaking ball. Fooled Bonilla, but it just missed, and it's 3-2.
0-2 to 3-2. Pitching coaches don't like to see that scenario happen very often, especially when you come in and put up a 3-spot in the second inning. Come back, leadoff hitter, you want to go after, and he walks him.
So the leadoff man aboard for the third straight inning for Southeast Missouri State. 37 pitches now thrown by Sanders. 13 up.
If Coach Hogan bunts up again, I don't think so with his leading hitter right now. He did last inning though.
And the throw over to first, if we were playing wiffle ball, would have retired Bonilla. Almost retired him for the game right there. That one hit him somewhere, the upper part of his body.
I'm not sure that ball didn't get him in the head right there. Coach Wells thinks they might be bunting. He makes the pick at first base. It did get him in the back of the arm. Got him in the arm.
So Vern Hatton still waiting on the first pitch, and he slaps it foul.
That was a pretty good swing right there by Hatton. Bonilla at first base, 5 for 6 running.
Tim, you see the number 9 on the side of the batting helmet there of Vern Hatton. All of the players for Southeast Missouri State wear number 9 not only on their batting helmets. There's a number 9 you'll see on the caps as well. I'll tell you the significance of that in a moment. Pickoff move almost got Bonilla leaning, but there you see the number 9. That is to remember one of their former players, Jody Gajewski, who died in a one-car accident last September. They put the number 9 on there to remember their fallen teammate, former catcher, who was lost again tragically in that one-car accident less than a year ago. And a great way to remember him and use his memory as motivation as well.
Sure is. Shane Sanders has a quick move over there. He's been pretty close a couple of times. Hatton right here looking for something to drive. 1-1 count. He's leading them in non-offensive categories. And Southeast Missouri State has swung the bats.
Comes up empty as he tries to catch the breaking ball. It's 1-2.
Bonilla at first base had a little false break, trying to get the runners in the middle and move a little bit towards second to get a bigger hole out there. Big pitch right here for Shane Sanders.
And it's a beauty. Rings him up for the second straight time. Fooling with another breaking ball. That's a big first out.
He's got to get some confidence out there and believe everything that comes out of his hands is strike. There it is, a great breaking ball on the outer half. Hatton right there looking at strike 3. That's one of the things you don't want your fourth hole hitter to do, go down without swinging the bat 3 times. That was a great pitch, and that's what Sanders has to do. He has to start making some pitches, some quality pitches on the outer half of the plate.
Tristan McDonald, who singled in the first, takes one for ball 1.
Be interesting to see if Coach Hogan starts his runner at first. Shane Sanders has been throwing a lot of breaking balls, and that's one of the pitches trying to run on.
1-0, outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Pretty much an action count right here, 1-1. Pitcher can't give in to go behind an account, so your hitter's going to have something he can hit. Runner at first could be protected.
Sanders has got two moves. He's got the, just to make sure you know, make sure you realize that I'm aware of your presence move. And then he's got that one that'll sneak on you and is very, very good. Good quick move. And he's gunned down a number of guys at first this year. Runner bluffs going there as the pitch misses, and it's 2-1.
Right there with that bluff, you can watch Jeremy Brown. He's keeping an eye on him over there. If he gets a little bit too far, you'll see a snap throw towards first base. He keeps that bluffing up over there.
Breaking ball got away from Brown, but not far enough for the runner to advance.
Hitters count and a runner's count. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of pick moves towards base right here. Keep the runner honest.
See from a ground level camera over at third, a good lead for Bonilla. And another pitch that misses outside. Second walk of the inning and of the day. Actually, the third walk of the day by Sanders. Puts two aboard with one gone for Zach Borowiak, who grounded to second in the first. Jim Wells hoping for another ground ball to second that would start a 4-6-3 double play. Good look at the shortstop out of Nashville, Illinois. 6'1", 180, just a junior.
One thing Coach Wells didn't want was to put guys on base right after you tie this thing up in the bottom of the second.
Saw it in the first game, much bigger margin, but Auburn down 10-0 after one half inning. Tied it up at 10 in the bottom of the third, but in that case, Florida Atlantic scored 2 runs quickly in their next half inning, and Auburn was never able to catch up again. Not able to get over the hump, and Alabama certainly wants to be in position to take their first lead in the next half inning.
That was a big deficit. They had to come back. Right now, Shane Sanders just doesn't look comfortable on the mound. He's falling around a little bit, falling off the first base pretty bad. Southeast Missouri hitters right now are going to be disciplined and try and take till he gets ahead in the count. And there he goes, 1-1. Alabama needs a ground ball double play right now to get back in and swing the bats and get Shane Sanders off the mound. A little confidence going. As you can see, he's pressing out there right now.
The 1-2 ground ball right side. Tough hop for Boyd. He'll have to step on the bag. That's his only play for out number 2. It was hit hard enough to be 2 runners as David Lawson stands in. The DH singled to lead off the second inning and later scored. Sanders starts him off with a breaking ball that misses. It's 1-0.
I think you'll see a dose of outside pitches right here.
Went right through the heart with that breaking ball, though. And it's 1-1.
Shane Sanders is going to hammer breaking ball after breaking ball. Although last inning he had a little velocity on his fastball.
A little bit low with that fastball, and it's 2-1. Eric Hoffman waits in the on-deck circle. He would bat next. That's if Lawson can reach. The 2-1 breaking ball, fly ball, right field. Garner giving chase. Will he have room? He will not.
Foul
it is
ball.
Out of play. That view,
it's right here for Alabama.
The 2-2 fly ball, center field. McClanahan will settle under this one and make the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no.
Battle out of jams already, only in the bottom of the third. All innings, top and bottom, they had to battle out of it.
Hey, what if you missed the first 2 innings today, though? You missed a lot of offense. You had a total of 21 runs scored in the first. Actually, it was 25 runs scored in the first 2 innings today. 10 runs in the first inning alone for Florida Atlantic. Auburn had 3 in the first, 4 in the second. Alabama and Southeast Missouri State with 4 apiece through the first 2 innings as Brent Boyd hits a fly ball out to right. Ryan Govek loving it to retire the leadoff man here in the third.
Brandon Smith fell behind right there, 2-0, and gave a pitch to Boyd. Boyd drove it pretty good, got it to the warning track in right field, but got to pitch ahead in the count. These aluminum bats, they can really hit them.
Chad White, who struck out to end the first, stands in and takes a pitch for ball 1.
Both of these pitchers are getting up in a pitch count early in the ball game right now.
Hot, humid night in Tuscaloosa. The sun mercifully has gone down for the day, but the humidity's still very high. Second baseman Bonilla can't come up with it. I think he may have been distracted by Eric Hoffman, the first baseman, who had strayed well to his right to try to make the play, Tim.
Right there, that's one of the toughest plays in baseball. Second baseman has to call the first baseman up. You never hear about that, but the second baseman has to say, I got it, just like you do on fly balls, to prevent that from happening. When you have a player dive in front of you, your eyes are definitely going to stay on him, and that could be what happened right there.
Very generous single ruled on that at bat from Chad White. That'll bring up Adam Pavkovich with 1 gone and a runner at first. Bama shortstop was hit by a pitch to lead off the second. A little bit late on that fastball. It's 0-1. Pavkovich with 5 home runs on the year.
Brandon Smith is sneaky fast. You don't see it, then all of a sudden it's right there when he throws that fastball. Long, lanky pitcher. He's had problems the last couple of innings now with signals from the catcher. I don't know if he's having a problem seeing the signals because we are in twilight right now or what, but he's flinched. He had the ball called in the last inning, and the first batter right there to Boyd, he double clutched a couple of times. Be interesting to find out.
The 0-1. Bottom fell out of that one, and it's 0-2.
That's a big thing for a pitcher. If you're not confident in what you're throwing, you start thinking about it right there.
Here's the 0-2. Just got a piece of that breaking ball to stay alive.
That was a great pitch right there. Brandon Smith dropped down a little bit on his break. He's done that a couple of times in this ball game. Turned his breaking ball from the 3/4 slot.
Fastball frozen. Strikeout number 2 for Brandon Smith, and out number 2 here in the third.
He paints the outer half with the fastball. He just threw breaking ball. Breaking ball was giving him doses of breaking ball and just froze him with a fastball on the outer half.
That is not at all what Pavkovich was looking for. He knew his only chance was a merciful call from home plate umpire Chuck Lyon.
0-2, he thought he was going to use a waste pitch. He got him to chase a couple of breaking balls and just painted the corner with it. Great pitch by Brandon Smith. He's done it time and time again.
The DH, Zach Welch, standing in, having singled in the second, but then got picked off second base. It was a big out in the second inning. Got picked up a little bit, though, as Peter Stonard walked, and then Jeremy Brown doubled. Keep the inning going. 1-0, fastball. This is up and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
Tie ball game right here. It'd be interesting to see if Jim Wells does anything with the runner at first base, try and get him in scoring position.
Only average speed over there at first with White.
Southeast Missouri's making a check right there. Brandon Smith has a high leg kick. He hasn't shown the slide step all day today. So the timing is there for them to run. Just have to pick the pitch.
2-0, fly ball, deep left field. Going back is Hatton. He will make the running catch at the wall about 365 feet from home plate. Welch gave it a ride, but the catch. Game tickets for all remaining games in this Tuscaloosa Regional go on sale at Sewell Thomas Stadium 2 hours prior to each game. All individual game tickets, just $10 a piece. Glad you're with us here on CSS as we go to the top half of inning number 4. The Indians sending Eric Hoffman lead off the inning, followed by Ryan Govak, and Denver Stuckey rips one foul to the right side. It's 0-1. Shane Sanders giving up 5 hits, 4 runs thus far. Same number that Brandon Smith has allowed for Southeast Missouri State, but he's been more effective the last couple of innings. Even though everything has been a struggle.
Chris, I tell you what, the first pitch of each inning, those Southeast Missouri hitters are coming up there swinging. First pitch each inning, they've taken a great cut at it.
The 0-2 misses high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All the talk yesterday during the press conferences were about the 3 o'clock Central Time game tomorrow. All the media talking about the showdown between the 2 in-state rivals, Alabama and Auburn. Southeast Missouri State trying to keep that game alive, just have it at 11 a.m. Central. Trying to send Alabama to the losers bracket game against Auburn, which was sent there by Florida Atlantic earlier this afternoon. 16-11, the Blue Wave getting the victory over the Tigers.
Coach Wells mentioned it during his press conference.
Fly ball deep left field. White has plenty of room. He'll make the catch for the out.
Coach Wells mentioned it during his press conference. The equalizer is the guy on the mound in this first day of the tournament, if guys do go with their ace, because everyone has that one guy who can stop anyone in the country.
Tim, you know this from your days as an assistant coach at Mississippi State, but also now as a head coach of an Atlantic Sun Conference member in Samford University. It's a great opportunity for these mid-major programs that have quality starters to come out. No pressure. Nobody's expecting anything out of you. Your guys know they can play. They know they can compete on a one-game basis, and you see a lot of surprises.
There's no doubt about it. The pressure is on the top seeds because they're picked up there. The other guys are just happy to be here, according to the fans. Those players in that dugout played 56 games just like the other guys did, and that's exactly what you're going to see, guys who are going to battle. What's going to show up is later in the tournament the depth of the bigger teams and the bigger schools, if they can get there. But the smaller and lower seeds aren't worried about that. They're going out there the first day, and they're just trying to show them what they can do. And we've seen it today so far.
3-0 pitch right through the heart. And it's 3-1. Ryan Govak had a 2-run homer 2 innings ago, pushing at the time the Southeast Missouri State lead to 4-1. Now he's hit one in the gap. McClanahan cuts it off. He'll make the throw to second, but it will not be in time. Sliding in safely with a double is Ryan Govak. He is 2 for 2.
Ryan Govak's come alive. 9th hole hitter for the Southeast Missouri Indians, and there it is. Home run, double in the gap, and he's hit both of those very good. Clanahan does a great job cutting that ball off. Just couldn't get it in time right there, but he did keep him from a triple.
Throw sailed on him a little bit.
Didn't have time to set his feet. Body was falling towards first base line right there. Great job.
Back to the top of the order in Denver Stuckey, who tripled to start the game, later scored the first run of the day for the Indians. He grounded out to third base in the second. Takes a pitch there for a strike. It's 0-1.
1 out, men at second. Southeast Missouri State couldn't ask for more right now. Get a base hit. Go back ahead, 5-4. Lead off guys up. That's who they want. Guys will get the most at bats.
Sanders ahead in the count, 0-2. He has not worked a 1-2-3 inning as of yet. His best inning came in the third. He walked 2 men, but didn't give up a run. 0-2, ripped fair ball inside the bag. That'll score a run, as rounding third and scoring easily will be Govak. Holding up at second base with a double will be Denver Stuckey, and the Indians are back on top, 5-4.
Back-to-back doubles right there. That's not the pitch Coach Wells wanted with 0-2. That's not the pitch he wanted to throw right there, hanging a breaking ball on the inner half of the plate. Here it is. Breaking ball stayed in, didn't get out. Stayed right inside the bag right there. Back-to-back doubles.
They'll bring Brian Hopkins to the plate. The left fielder walked and scored in the first. He struck out to end the second. 7 hits now on the evening for Southeast Missouri State. Sanders misses with a fastball. It's 1-0.
Sanders needs to pitch ahead in the count. He's got ahead the last 2 guys, and they've hit the ball in the gap on him.
Misses again to put the count at 2-0. Alabama's had success all year in the opening game, whether it be of a series or a tournament, in getting a starting pitcher to go very deep into the ball game, so they don't have to get into their bullpen and they have something left by the end of the weekend or the end of the tournament, as was the case last weekend in Hoover for the Southeastern Conference tournament. But you get the sense here that Sanders may be teetering on the brink, even though it's only a 1-run game right now.
That's the key. It's a 1-run ball game right now, and I think Jim's going to stay with him as long as he can keep it to a 1 or a 2-run ball game, because he knows he's in for a long weekend. And so does Coach Hogan over here. That's why you see Brandon Smith out there still. You know, they've thrown a lot of pitches, and we're only in the bottom of the 4th.
2-2 the count to Brian Hopkins. The Indians with 7 hits, 5 of them have been for extra bases. 2-2 just misses, and he's run it full 3-2.
That's a great job by Hopkins right there, staying off of that pitch. And Sanders needs a strikeout right here.
1 gone in the inning. 3-2 the count. Breaking ball, chops it out to short. The runner will move to third, but the throw to first is in time to get Hopkins for out number 2. So 2 gone now for Clemente Bonilla, who has reached base safely twice today. He had a 2-run double in the first inning and then walked and was stranded at third base in the 3rd inning. Again, last year he was the player of the year in the Ohio Valley Conference, made 2nd team all OVC this year. Takes 1 for a strike there. It's 0-1.
Shane's going to go right at him, it looks like. Just watching this ball game, both pitchers have pitched out of jams. Although it's a 5-4 ball game, could be a lot more runs scored with the guys that were left on base so far in the first innings.
Gets past Brown. He can't find it. The runner will score from third. I believe that'll be a wild pitch. But Brown couldn't find the baseball. It didn't get too far away from him. We'll look at it again.
Shane Sanders tried to throw a fastball down and just got underneath of the legs of Brown right there. Did not get both knees down, and the glove's got to protect the hole right through the middle, and it just got right through there.
They rule it a wild pitch. It's 1-1, and the bases are now empty as Bonilla takes one high. It's 2-1. That is a big, big run. Scoring from third base to make it a 2-run game once again. Fly ball center field, but McClanahan, who started in, now drifts back shy of the track to make the catch for out number 3. The Indians have brought their tomahawks, and they're trying to chop away at the Alabama Mystique here in Tuscaloosa. They lead the Tide 6-4. 7 hits, no errors by the Indians. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors by the Tide as Alan Rice leads things off for Alabama here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brandon Smith starting him off with a fastball that misses. It's 1-0.
It's been like that all night. You take the lead, you want your pitcher to go out there and just pour it through the zone and try and keep it where it's at. Brandon Smith looks like he's run a little bit off the first base. He didn't there. Strike.
Pops this one up. Shallow center field. Hatton comes in to make the catch for out number 1.
You're right, Chris. When you're playing from the top and you're the bottom seed, everything's relaxed a little bit more instead of having to come back. The pressure right now is on Alabama. Garner's got to get it started right here for him again, just like he did in the early innings.
First pitch to Travis Garner is the strike. It's 0-1. Not a shot that you'd have the Indians ahead at this point of the ball game. Alabama's trailed 9 of its last 10 games. They have gone 5-4 in their last 9 outings. Southeast Missouri State, though, is not a team you really want to trail. They are 20-1 this year when scoring first. 1-1, grounded sharply to third. Stuckey, a nice play, and the throw to first is in time to retire Garner. That is not an easy play, but Stuckey able to stay down with it and glove it and make the throw for the out.
Boy, that was a fast ball that Travis Garner just hit. Stuckey over third, just stuck the glove down and said, "Stay in there, please," and it did. Makes a great play on a great stroke.
2 gone for Peter Stonard. He has reached base safely twice. You see the single, the walk, and the run scored in 2 trips thus far. Takes a breaking ball low and in. It's 1-0. First ever meeting between Southeast Missouri State and Alabama in baseball action.
Boy, right now, Mark Hogan's hoping that he can get Brandon Smith back in the dugout after a 5 or 6 pitch inning the way he's been throwing all day.
(2-0) called a strike of the belt, and it's 2-1.
Thought that was a great take right there by. Pitch was up and away. Didn't want to swing at that. 2-0.
2-1, misses a little bit in, and it's 3-1.
Stoneman's a disciplined hitter. He's going to make him pitch. Right now, Coach Hogan's over there. Come on, we got to get in this inning without throwing 15 or 20 pitches like we've done the first 3 or 4 innings.
The 3-1. Line past Stuckey into left field for a base hit. On Saturday in the SEC tournament against Florida, Stonard ripped one over the right field wall to give Alabama, at the time, a 7-all tie with the Gators. But you see there what he does most of the time, going the other way with a pitch and hit it right on the button to the opposite field.
Most guys who hit for average will tell you their power is to the opposite field gap. That's because they try and stay through the ball longer. That's what he showed right there. He stayed back, hit the ball nice, hard right through the 6 hole between the shortstop and the third baseman.
Jeremy Brown taking a strike. It's 0-1. His 3-run double cleared the bases and tied the score at 4 apiece in the bottom of the 2nd inning. You mentioned the 12 to 15 pitches. Already 9 have been thrown in this inning by Brandon Smith. He's thrown 70 for the night. 40 of them have been for strikes.
I think you'll see him try and stay away from Brown after seeing what Brown did on the last inside pitch that he mislocated.
The problem is he, along with Stoner, are the 2 most disciplined and most patient hitters on this Alabama squad. And if you walk him, you got McClanahan to face next.
And one thing you also have here is Stoner at first base. Pretty good base runner. Pretty good base runner.
Talked about the bases clearing double. That gave Jeremy Brown the Alabama RBI record of 227, surpassing Andy Phillips for the top spot in that category. Pitch out, but Stoner wasn't going anywhere. It's 2-1.
That's a pretty tough pitch right there. Fall behind on the big hitter at the plate, pitch out, thinking they're going to run right there. Gamble and lose. Let's see if it pays off for Alabama right here.
Again, they'll throw to first, keeping Stoner close to the bag. He, along with Garner, swiped the base in the 1st inning, putting Stoner now at 17 of 25 on the year. Stolen base attempts. 2-1, tapped foul to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I thought Coach Wells might want to play a little long ball chance right there for at least 2 swings. We'll see if Stoner gets in motion right here, but he's got his home run hitters up. Brown and McClanahan coming up. I think he's going to let him swing it a little bit, but we'll see on this pitch.
Had him leaning just a bit, it looked like, but able to get back to the bag in plenty of time.
Brandon Smith has a high leg kick, so you don't really have to have the big lead because you're running on the pitcher here, not the catcher.
2-2 breaking ball. Sweeps outside, and he's running full 3-2. That'll give Stonard the head start from first, but I would imagine he won't go too early, as Zach Welch did a couple innings ago and got picked off at second in a similar situation.
You'll see a couple of safety picks right here. No, he goes straight to the plate.
And they ring him up, throws him with a breaking ball in the corner. Brown didn't agree, but Chuck Lyon calls the strikeout, the third of the game for Brandon Smith. We played 4 full innings at the Tuscaloosa Regional. The top seed trails the number 4 seed by 2. To CSS on Thursday nights. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. I'm Chris Stewart along with Tim Parrington. Alabama trailing Southeast Missouri State by a score of 6-4 as we go to the top of the 5th. Alabama not the only number 1 seed trailing in a regional game. Florida State still having some problems with Stetson down in Tallahassee.
Yes, they are. That's the ace son again. Stetson can hit 1 through 9 in order. Their problem is going to be pitching down the line.
6-5 the score in that game. That's in the bottom of the 7th inning. BYU and Southern Cal in the top of the 10th inning, all knotted at 4 apiece.
There's BYU coming in, a 500 ball club.
Shane Sanders delivering his 75th pitch of the game, and it is fouled off by Vern Hatton to lead off the 5th inning. It's 0-1. Hatton has struck out looking in 2 plate appearances thus far. He has accounted for 2 of the 3 strikeouts recorded by Sanders on the night.
Sanders has to go out there and have a quick inning, which he does. 2 pitches to the first batter. Very good.
Stonard making the throw to Boyd for out number 1.
Both coaches right now want quick innings by their pitchers so they can go a little bit longer.
I mentioned that Southern Cal BYU game. I wanted to check myself before I said it, but Southern Cal is indeed the top seed in that regional in Los Angeles. Tristan McDonald standing in, swinging and missing. First pitch, it's 0-1. He has singled and walked, reaching base safely in 2 trips thus far.
That's a great job. Pitching ahead in the count. There it is.
Trying to have another quick inning as he did in the 2nd, where he threw just 9, but he's thrown 20 or more in the other 3 innings. That one is laced into center field for the 2nd hit of the night for McDonald, and the 8th of the ball game for Southeast Missouri State.
That's an 0-2 pitch right there that wasn't supposed to be right where it was, and line drive up the middle. There's been some 0-2 pitches on both sides, hit very hard.
Zach Borowiak 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs coming to the plate. Shortstop for the Indians.
Nice pitch right there. Way to come back.
Breaking ball. Sanders, pretty good zip on the fastball, but it is his curveball that makes him an effective pitcher.
His curveball has been up a little bit all night long. That's one of the better ones he's thrown right there. That's down in the zone, and that's where he's got to stay.
Comes back with a fastball right through there and gets ahead in the count once more. 0-2.
I think we'll see another breaking ball down in the zone. If he does mislocate it, trying to get a ground ball or not a strikeout right here.
Fastball swung on and fouled out of play to the right. And it will remain no balls and 2 strikes. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors by Southeast Missouri State. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors by the Crimson Tide. The grandstand seats all sold out. Excuse me, the chairback seats all sold out. The grandstand bleacher seats actually somewhat vacant down the left field line, but that's about it.
That was a great breaking pitch right there by Sanders.
Got a piece of Jeremy Brown, and Jim Wells is going to come out and check on his All-American catcher. First team All-SEC was Jeremy Brown.
That's the pitch they were looking for the last 2 times, that breaking ball down and away.
That is as tough a young man as you will find in this game. Talking about the game of college baseball, not in this particular game tonight.
That is a great, tough player back there.
Almost lost the tip of his thumb playing against Mississippi State last year in Starkville. Freak accident, got his thumb caught in his mask trying to make a throw to third base to gun a runner down, and missed the final weekend of the regular season.
That breaking ball right there, I think, caught the tip of that thumb on his glove where a catcher just jolts it back off a foul tip.
So Sanders with an 0-2 count, second straight batter, but he gave up a single on an 0-2 pitch to the man at first, Tristan McDonald. He'll throw over there to keep him close to the bag.
Alabama needs a ground ball right here. They need a turn double play and get a little momentum going back in the dugout for them.
Haven't done that in this game yet. Swing and a miss there. Strikeout. Borowiak is the 4th of the game by Sanders to go with 3 walks. And another pitch that
right here, this
disappeared.
Pitch, there it is, this hard breaking ball down. Got through Jeremy Brown again. He's a little shook up right there. I don't know if that last at bat got to him a little bit, breaking ball, but that was a great pitch by Sanders to get out of it. That's what he's trying to do. 0-2 is trying to hammer that breaking ball in the dirt, get them to chase it.
Brings David Lawson to the plate. 1 for 2, single, a run scored, and a fly out. They almost got McDonald there. Talked about the quick move that Sanders has to first. It almost resulted in a pickoff.
Great move by Shane Sanders. Very close. Looks like he got back in there with his hand, tagged him on the back of the shoulder.
Little nubber in front of the mound. Brown keeps it fair, throws to first in time for the out. Big time play by Jeremy Brown as the side is retired. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left for Southeast Missouri State at the top of the 5th. Alabama coming to the plate, trying to come from behind in Tuscaloosa. For the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. It's all right here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. Along with Tim Parrington, Chris Stewart back with you at Sewell Thomas Stadium. They call it a great career for the Tide, but he will lead things off in the bottom of the 5th. Bama trailing 6-4, one of several #1 seeds across the country that are struggling tonight against a 4 seed. Brandon Smith starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Smith has struck out 3, walked 2, and hit a man thus far, as well as scattering 6 hits. Fastball popped up, shallow center field. Hatton coming on. He will have plenty of room, and he will make the play for out #1.
Chris, I think if you talk to both of these coaches before the ball game, the last 2 innings are the way they wanted their pitchers to pitch from the start. 8, 9, 10 pitch innings. Not a lot of hitting to have the high pitch counts that we have already going into the 5th.
Tim, it's not unusual, as we see Brent Boyd stand in, to see hitters struggle against a pitcher early on and then start to have some success against them after they see them a time or 2. It's unusual to see hitters start off very well and then see the pitchers start to settle down and begin to get the outs.
We've seen that in both ball games today. The one thing that Brandon Smith is doing is he's changing his arm slot a little bit. He's throwing some on top, some on the side. That's going to keep the Alabama hitters off a little bit. On the other hand, Shane Sanders hasn't located a couple of 0-2 pitches that's hurt him. tonight. That's all. I mean, they have been on him all night, though.
2-0. Strike at the knees, and it's 2-1.
Brandon Smith just rearing it back in there. He's painting the corner, and he's getting the call, so he's going to stay there.
2-1. Breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 3-1.
You don't want to put on a guy with a 2-run lead. Try and make them all hit to earn it. They got to earn their way on base.
That one's looped back out of play. And he's run it full 3-2. Having said that, you would prefer to face White with a man aboard than give up the home run pitch to Boyd, who is so dangerous.
No, the one run's not going to put him ahead right here. One run's not going to put him ahead. You got to try and get him out. If you put a guy on base, then one swing of the bat ties the ball game up.
Right. I don't mean intentionally walking here, but still it's a case where you're going to pitch him very carefully, aren't you?
Oh, they're pitching him carefully. Right there you see a 3-2 breaking ball. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go with his best stuff. It's not going to be an automatic, but he's going to try and make Boyd swing the bat. Key to pitching with the lead is trying to keep guys off base so one swing of the bat doesn't cut the deficit or tie a ball game. That's what he's doing right here. He's going to challenge Boyd these next couple of pitches. He's going to stay right around the plate and make him swing the bat and earn it to get to first base. He's not going to throw a dirt breaking ball or something way out of his zone. He's going to try and make him earn his way on.
Boyd able to fight off a couple of pitches. As Smith gets set to deal another payoff pitch. Breaking ball sweeps outside. I guess he opted. He's going to make a mistake, make it out of the strike zone rather than right in Boyd's wheelhouse, as Chad White will come to the plate with one gone and a man at first. White singled in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2 on the evening.
That's an interesting pitch right there. He dropped down again like I talked a little bit about earlier, where his arm angle's going in slots right now, and he didn't have control of that breaking ball. Got it away. Now White with one swing in the back can tie this ball game up. Although it's with one out, he pitched pretty safe to Boyd. Let's see if it hurts him right here.
White with 14 RBI on the year. Hasn't hit a homer in his freshman season. Takes a strike there on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
We've seen that, no homers yet, and one home run in this ball game already earlier, where a go-back hit one for Southeast Missouri earlier in the game.
Sure did. The right fielder yanked one over the right field wall. Here's the 0-1. Fastball high, evens the count at 1-1.
Mark Hogan's in that dugout fidgeting around right now. He's got a 2-run lead, and one of his aces on the mound, of his 2 aces, are throwing the ball around the strike zone. That's not what he wants. He wants to go right at him right now.
One misses low and in. 2 balls and a strike.
You haven't seen a lot of ground balls hit by Alabama tonight. Hard velocity on the mound, everything hard, nothing really off speed, no change-ups down, everything the same thing, 88s and 89s. Therefore, you're hitting line drives, no ground balls. So
2-1, fly ball, left field. Well hit. Going back is Hopkins, but he will make the catch at the track for out number 2.
Nice.
White just missed getting his first home run of the year.
What we said earlier, I think earlier in the day, that ball might have been out of here. At night, the air gets a little bit heavier in here in the Joe, and it just doesn't travel as well as it does in the day. But that's what we talked about, putting a guy on base right there. One swing of the bat ties the ball game up. If that ball's down the line, it's out of here.
And there's no breeze at all. It's getting no help from the wind, because there is no wind.
As they say, the wind's blowing down right now.
Pavkovich standing in. Takes a pitch outside for ball 1. The Bama shortstop hit by a pitch in the second inning, but then struck out in the third. Got frozen on a fastball on the outside corner in an 0-2 pitch 2 innings ago.
Down by 2, I don't think we'll see anything by Boyd over at first base.
Not the best wheels even when he came to Tuscaloosa, but he has been beaten up, gimpy basically throughout his career, but he has missed very few games, although he did miss about 8 or 10 this season with an abdominal strain. That's originally how he wound up at first base. He'd been the second baseman. In fact, was named as the first-team All-SEC second baseman. He didn't play half the year at second base in conference play. He was the first baseman for the Tide, the latter half of conference play.
Just a tough player.
2-0 pitch right through there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Pavkovich with 5 homers and 29 RBI on the season.
We'll see if he nibbles on the outer half right here to try and get him to coax into a ground ball.
2-1, misses in. 3 balls and a strike.
Throwing fastball in to Pavkovich. We'll see if the runner starts right here, 3-1. So runners count. Nope.
Not going anywhere. Pitch misses high, and he is walked. Second hitter in 3 at-bats. 4th walk of the day by Smith. And it brings Zach Welch to the plate. He singled in the second, flew out to center field in the 3rd inning. Bama DH 1 for 2 on the night.
Big at-bat for Zach Welch right here. Base hit, gets him 1 run closer. 1 swing at the bat and put him ahead by 1.
Takes a breaking ball low and in. It's 1-0. Welch spent much of the season as the Tide first baseman before the changes took place we talked about. He has hit a home run this year and has 12 RBI. The 1-0. Inside corner for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1.
We got to put the ball in play right here. Alabama has to put the ball in play. They can't go down striking out. Brandon Smith has pitched out of jams all night long, though. Seems like every inning he's got guys in scoring position and just comes out of it. Pitch count might start to take its tail a little bit right now. It's starting to labor when pitchers start walking around the dirt, walking around the mound. They start to feel it a little bit.
2-1. Misses in. 3 balls and 1 strike. Boyd is your runner at second base. Adam Pavkovich is at first. The number 9 hitter in the order, Alan Rice, waits in the on-deck circle. 3-1. Grounded right side, gloved on a hop by Hoffman, and he will step on the bag to end the Alabama threat in the 5th inning. Tide fails to score as they leave 2 more runners on base. They trail by 2 at home. Inning this fall, we invite you to tune in to CSS for extensive coverage of all your favorite college football teams. We'll have live football action on Saturdays and re-airs of regional games throughout the week. And it's all right here on your source for sports in the Southeast, CSS. Alabama, speaking of football, could use a field goal here. They trail by 2. 6-4 as we go to the top half of inning number 6. Eric Hoffman, Ryan Govek, and Denver Stuckey, the 8, 9, and 1 spots in the Indian order, are all due to face Shane Sanders, who has labored a bit but has settled down somewhat over the last inning or 2. Gave up 2 runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th innings, but is yet to retire the Indians in order tonight.
Both teams have been getting guys in scoring position in the last few innings and just hadn't come up with the big hit. Southeast Missouri got one 2 innings ago, but Sanders came out and shut him down last inning.
Misses inside to put the count at 2-0. Senior from Coleman, Alabama, Shane Sanders, the usual Sunday starter, getting the start of the opener for Alabama in this NCAA regional. First time that Tide has hosted in a while. He has pitched well in Tuscaloosa, 5-0 in 10 appearances with a 1.91 ERA. Tide missed the postseason a year ago. Went to Palo Alto, California 2 years ago and played in the regional hosted by Stanford, where they lost to the Cardinal in the championship game. 3-1 pitch, hammered foul.
You can see where the Southeast Missouri guys are real loose right now. They feeling themselves pretty good. 2-0 pitch earlier. Takes a good cut at it right there. 3-1 pitch comes out of his shoes. Let's see what happens on the 3-2 pitch for Hoffman.
Another tapper foul, and he has beaten that right leg to death. About
Everything's
3 that he's
down and
fouled
in.
off.
Right off his inside. He's walking around. That one hit pretty good. That was a pretty solid stroke.
Something's got to give in this game. Southeast Missouri State has only lost 1 time this year in 21 games in which they've scored first. They did jump on the board first in this game, but Alabama historically has been perfect in NCAA tournament action here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. They are 13-0 all time. Fly ball, deep right field, and I believe the park will not be able to hold this one. Solo home run off the bat of Eric Hoffman, and it is 7-4 Indians.
When you pitch behind in the count, things like that happen with good hitters. Hoffman takes a 3-2 pitch. Who's behind the entire bat right there.
Just his 3rd home run of the year, but he got all of that one.
3-2. Sanders tries to throw the fastball up and away. Just stayed over the middle part of the plate. And Hoffman hits it out to the right field grass area. And that's when you pitch behind in college baseball with the aluminum bat, things happen for the offensive team if you can't locate on the outer half.
Shane Sanders' night is done. Brent Carter, freshman left-hander out of Americus, Georgia, will be called on as Alabama tries to stop the Indian attack. Bama trailing in Tuscaloosa by 3 here in the 6th.
I've heard about some of these deals they're having on these new satellite dishes.
So, I did a little homework.
So there are installation fees.
If it's raining,
You might have a few problems.
It has to be hooked up to some phone line.
I can't get my favorite local channels.
And then you have to sign some contracts.
If I want to watch one show and my husband wants to watch another show on another TV,
That's going to cost just a little bit extra.
they're nickel and diming me to death.
Satellite TV isn't all it's dished up to be.
nickel and dime,
Nickel and dime,
nickel and dime.
The left-hander, 1-0 with a 3.92 ERA and a couple of saves on the year.
The one thing I think Carter's going to do is step out there and throw strikes. That's the one thing Jim Wells has to have right now. 8 walks on the year and 42 innings pitched.
Carter, a true freshman out of Americus, Georgia, called on to try to keep the Indians right where they are. 7-4. Solo shot by Eric Hoffman started this 6th inning, and Chase Sanders from the ball game.
Chris, we've seen it all day. When pitchers fall behind, guys with that aluminum in their hands can do some damage with it. And that's what's happened all night long. Both sides of the plate. When Alabama made their run, Brandon Smith was behind on pitches.
First offering to Ryan Govek is fouled back. Govek 2 for 2. A 2-run homer in the 2nd inning. He doubled in the 4th and later scored as well. Give you Sanders' line. He worked 5+ innings, allowed 9 hits, 7 runs, all earned. He walked 3, struck out 4, and unleashed a wild pitch.
Scouting report for Alabama must be that Govak's a bunter because they've been playing all night long. Third baseman, first baseman on the grass. Although he's proven them wrong. Hit a ball in the grass out in right field for a home run and hit one in the gap and for a double.
Sit in the grass. It's just not been that infield grass at all.
Not at all.
2-1. Misses outside. It's 3-1.
9th hole hitter. Probably going to take another one right here. Be interesting to see what he does. Coach Hogan up by 3, though. Might give him the green light.
3-1. Missing again. And Carter gives up the 4th walk of the night by the Alabama staff. That is only the 9th walk Carter's given up against 44 strikeouts this year.
Freshmen coming in the regional ball game at this time, even though they're at home, You know, his adrenaline's flowing a little bit right now. He'll settle down and do fine. What you're going to look for right now out of Southeast Missouri is move the runner up, try and get this one run. He bunted in the second inning. So we'll see if he does it again right here with his leadoff hitter.
All-speed pitch drops in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Denver Stuckey tripled and scored in the first, doubled a drive home run and scored in the fourth. Those were sandwiched around, a ground out in the second inning.
See what happens. Coach Wells makes a courtesy move to first base to see if he shows bunt at the plate. Stuckey stays deep in the box. Usually a hitter will give up the bunt if he moves up in the box towards home plate, but he's back on that back line right now.
Oh-1, fouled back and just out of the park.
Completely out of the ballpark. Cleared the grandstand and all.
Thought it was going to take somebody with it as it went.
A little different right now. Coach Hogan bunts in the first and doesn't bunt in the sixth right here. That's interesting.
0-2 pitch. Chopped foul past the bag at third, and we'll try it again. Not only does Southeast Missouri State have the lead, they have something else going in their favor, Tim, and that is a very quiet crowd here at Sewell-Thomas Stadium.
That's the one thing that happened in the top of the first inning when they took the lead. They took the crowd a little bit out of it right now.
If you want to pick a stat of the game, how about men left on base? Southeast Missouri State 4 of 8 with runners in scoring position. Alabama just 1 for 7. Tide stranded 7 overall. Only 4 Indians have been left on the base paths.
That's Brandon Smith doing a great job pitching out of jams. That's why his pitch count's really up there. Alabama has had guys there all night. Stuckey's really battling up right now.
Talked about the NCAA tournament record for Alabama all time, and obviously that doesn't include many of these players at all. But Alabama this year, 32-2 in games at Sewell-Thomas Stadium. Ole Miss came in midway through the SEC season and took the Friday and Sunday games. They took the series. That's the only time Alabama lost a game all year here in Tuscaloosa. They are in danger of losing one in the postseason. Fly ball, shallow center field. Plenty of time for McClanahan to get there. And he'll make the catch for out number 1 here in the 6th.
It's a great job by Carter right there, settling down, walking the first guy he's faced. You know, as a freshman stepping on the mound, it's tough, especially down 3, trying to keep the ball game within one swing of the bat. If you can load the bases, one swing can still put you ahead. Right now he's going to try and get him a ground ball double play and go in there and get the bats rolling. That's what his thoughts are.
Alabama has used big defensive plays to spur their offense a number of times, especially here in Tuscaloosa. The Sunday game against Auburn comes to mind. A 2-0 game at the time. Auburn had runners at second and third. Scott McClanahan caught a shallow fly ball in right center field and doubled up the runner with a great throw at home, then made a diving catch to end the inning as well. Bama exploded for 5 runs in the bottom half of that 7th inning. Instead of the game perhaps being tied 2 apiece, Bama turned it into a 7-0 game. And oh, by the way, McClanahan just capped off that 7th inning with a home run of his own.
It's one of the keys right now. We talked all day about offense, offense, offense. There it is again. Ground ball, 6, 4
and a half. Couldn't complete the 6-4-3.
Couldn't complete it.
Stonard has done a nice job turning the double play, but this one was just off the mark.
We had a routine ground ball. Nice flip to second base. Southeast Missouri runner right there. Kovac went in pretty hard but legal, right into the base. Made Stone to throw the ball up the line, and Boyd couldn't pick it out at first base right there.
He got there in a hurry, and I think that caused problems for Stoner. That's why it was clean play, went in hard, but slid straight through the bag.
That ball right there was a tweener. It wasn't hit hard enough, and Adam stayed back a little bit on it. An underhand flip. If you overhanded a little bit more velocity on it, might have been quicker.
Bonilla stands in, switches over, and hits right-handed for the first time tonight, facing a lefty Carter. And it's 1-0.
We've talked about the offense, but in that first game, Florida Atlantic gets a bunch of double plays to get them out of it. Right there, Alabama had a chance to get a double play turn to get their momentum going a little bit, to get in there and get some offense going.
Runner goes from first. Pitch, a strike. Throw to second, not in time. It's a stolen base for Brian Hopkins. Southeastern Missouri State has now stolen 70 stolen bases on the year.
Brian
The
Hopkins
lead he
goes
got.
right there on the first move. He just picked the pitch and took off. If Alabama makes a pick, he's out. It's one of the gambles you take as a coach. 2 outs, trying to get in score position. You're guessing he's not picking. As soon as he picked up his foot, he took off, and Brown had no chance to throw him out there.
12th stolen base of the year for Hopkins, as the 1-1 to Bonilla is lined, but right to Stonard to end the 6th inning. Southeast Missouri State, though, gets another run. The leadoff home run from Eric Hoffman makes it a 7-4 ball game. In Tuscaloosa, trying to jumpstart the home team, the host school for this NCAA baseball regional in Tuscaloosa. Alabama trailing Southeast Missouri State by a score of 7-4 as we go to the bottom half of inning number 6. Brandon Smith on the hill, set to deliver. Pitch number 116 on the night. And it's a strike. Dallin Rice, it's 0-1. Rice 0 for 2. Hit into a fielder's choice and later scored in the second. Popped out to shallow center field in the 4th.
Brandon Smith steps out there and throws first pitch strike. Although it was his 115th pitch in a 4-game regional, you're not going to come back on 1 day's rest. So you can see Coach Hogan going with Smith for a long time tonight.
1-2 the count. Breaking ball just missed, and it's 2-2. You could see the reaction by McDonald. He really was hoping for that call. As the crowd has started to get back in this ball game, Tim, Southeast Missouri State wants to keep Alabama off the bases, keep the momentum squarely on the side of the Indians.
That's one of the things they wanted to do right there. Get this leadoff hitter out. Not a very good sign. 3-2 right now. Brandon Smith only has pitched 89 innings this year. He's not really up in the innings so far, but you know, I think Coach Hogan's going to leave him out there for a while.
Ground ball right side. That'll get through for a base hit. So Alabama has the leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and they've got the top of the order coming to the plate.
We talked about it all day, the home field advantage in regional play. Everywhere you go where the crowds are big. Just there, Alabama's fans get back into it. Although they're down 3, Southeast Missouri hasn't been in front of this kind of crowd all year, I don't think.
Mark Frazier, a senior right-hander, has made his way to the bullpen as the familiar chant of Roll Tide starts to echo throughout Sewell Thomas Stadium. Travis Garner, who is 1 for 2, a couple of runs scored, a walk, a single, and a ground out, comes to the plate.
Mark Frazier is Southeast Missouri's #1 guy out of the pen with 25 appearances in 50 innings.
Garner showed bunt, and he got hit on the arm. He was showing bunt. I don't know that he was trying to just move the runner over. He's got great speed. Looked like he was trying to bunt for a base hit.
He was trying to bunt for a base hit right there, and Brandon Smith loses one up and in and hits him on the elbow.
And Mark Hogan is going to appeal to the home plate umpire, who then asked for help down at first from Ron Sebastian. He says, nope.
Mark
He
was out there appealing to see if he bunted at the ball.
Right.
And that's one of the things that usually happens on a drag bunt. They will go for the ball, and the arm does go out over the plate.
But he was able to pull back as the hit batsman puts runners at first and second now with nobody gone for Peter Stonard. He represents the tying run, and Mark Hogan is going to come out, and that'll do it for Brandon Smith. The Indians deciding that their starting right-hander has given them enough. or at least all that he's able to give tonight. About 120 pitches on the evening, 122 to be exact.
I thought Coach Hogan would let him go a little bit longer, but he's going to go to the left-hander out of the pen right now.
It's going to be Tim Alvarez, a junior, 6'4", 215 out of Central Point, Oregon. Transfer from Eastern Arizona Community College. Will come on and try to close the door on the tie. Brandon Smith exits. A great effort, but he's going to need some help if the Indians are to knock off Alabama.
Be sure to watch The Lighter Side of Sports, hosted by NFL star Mike Golick. Join us as we take an inside look at some of the funniest moments in sports. You'll see plenty of superstars, bloopers, and amazing achievements.
The Lighter Side of Sports, available only on CSS.
With a couple of saves and a 2.75 ERA. 15 appearances now on the year. Half of them have been in a relief role, and Mark Hogan and Jim Wells exchanging some very heated words. I've never seen Jim Wells that hot at an opposing head coach.
Between the innings right there, seeing Alvarez throw from the down under, Alabama's hitters, Coach Wells called Alabama's hitters. Coach Hogan thought they were getting too close to being behind home plate and went to talk to the home plate umpire. I think Coach Wells let him know in particular words down there to worry about his own ball club, and he'll take care of his.
Mark Hogan talked yesterday about being happy to return to Alabama, where he was an Alabamian for about 7 years. He is definitely considered an outsider right now. For the first time all night, the Alabama crowd is on its feet. Tying run at the plate in Peter Stonard as Bama bats in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runners at first and second, nobody gone. Fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
As an opposing pitcher, that's what you want to do. The crowd's getting back into it a little bit. Coach Hogan got the crowd back into it a little more than they were there between innings and between pitches, and come out there, throw the first pitch strike, see what happens.
Oh, 1 slow roller, could be 2. The flip to second, Bonilla on to first in time for the double play.
Repeat of game 1 here today, Chris. Florida Atlantic got Auburn to hit into numerous double plays.
Alabama has rolled into 60 double plays on the year. That is the 6th, to make that the 5th by Stonard, and it was tailor-made.
Alvarez makes a great pitch, gets a ground ball right to the shortstop. 6-4-3 couldn't have been drawn up any better.
But there's still a man aboard for Jeremy Brown, who hit a 3-run double back in the 2nd inning. At the time, it tied the score at 4 apiece. First pitch misses. It's 1-0. This could be monumental for Southeast Missouri State if they can get out of this inning without allowing a run.
Alvarez is a unique pitcher, throwing from down under from the left-hand side. You really don't see that a lot.
That one's called a strike. It evens the count at 1-1.
I don't think you'll see anything inner part of the plate. Although he's going in right here, it looks like.
1-1 popped up. That will get into the seats and out of play. And it moves to 1-2. Brown walked in the first. 3-run double in the second. He struck out looking to end the 4th. With a base runner at 3rd, Brown awaits the 1-2 pitch from Alvarez.
If you're Alabama, that's who you want up at the plate right now. Brown and McClanahan, that's their big guns.
Swings and misses. Strike 3, and Alvarez comes on to put out the Alabama Fire. The Tide, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a big runner left on base. We played 6. Indians still leading by 3.
Be sure to watch The Lighter Side of Sports, hosted by NFL star Mike Golick. Join us as we take an inside look at some of the funniest moments in sports. You'll see plenty of superstars, bloopers.
Sunday mornings, we invite you to tune into CSS as we take you into the wild. 3.5 hours of hunting and fishing shows beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern right here on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. Along with Tim Parents and I'm Chris Stewart. Florida Atlantic knocked off Auburn earlier today, 16-11, as one Southeastern Conference school was knocked into the loser's bracket. Southeast Missouri State trying to set up that much anticipated matchup between Alabama and Auburn, but in the earlier game of the day, Brett Carter on trying to keep the Indians right where they are until the bats can wake up again.
Starters are gone right now. It's on the bullpen's hands. You got Carter, a freshman, going for Alabama, and you got Alvarez, who's had a bunch of starts throughout the year.
First pitch popped up. Boyd will make the play as Hatton is retired for the 4th time tonight. We talked about him in the open. He leads Southeast Missouri State coming into tonight in 9 different offensive categories, but he has not been a factor at all this evening.
Has not been a factor, and that's one of the things that happens in tournament play is your guys that lead you throughout the year think they have to step up even more because you get to that next level, and it tends to tighten them up and has their swing go a little bit longer, whereas guys you don't even think about that's going to do things like Govac hitting in 9th hole with a low batting average, steps up, hits a home run and a double to drive in some runs already.
Tristan McDonald, the catcher, swings and misses at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Singled in the first, walked in the third, singled in the 5th. Quite a night at the plate for the Indians' backstop. And Carter gets ahead in the count 0-2.
Alabama's got to put up a goose egg up there in this top so they can get their bats going again in the bottom. 3 runs, not a lot.
Have not retired the Indians in order tonight. Strike 3 was dropped. McDonald didn't realize it. Long throw by Brown, but it's on the money for the out. Tide caught a break there as that one got pretty far away from Jeremy Brown. McDonald didn't realize that Brown had dropped the baseball. If he sprints to first base immediately, he may have been able to beat the throw.
It's a unique feature here at Alabama is the AstroTurf the entire way behind home plate. When catchers do miss a ball or a pass ball gets by, it usually gets all the way to the wall. Most places have a little 3 or 4 foot rung of AstroTurf to keep the wear down. But here it will go, and didn't know Jeremy dropped the ball, and Jeremy makes a great throw from the on-deck circle to get him out at first.
Carter again ahead in the count as he faces Zach Borowiak, the shortstop. Count evens up there at 1-1 as he misses with a pitch. Borowiak, a couple of ground outs in his first 2 plate appearances and then struck out in the 5th. The 1-1 line knocked down by Stoner. He'll throw on to first, and for the first time tonight, Southeast Missouri State goes in order. We'll see if Alabama responds. The Tide trails by 3 as we go to the bottom half of the 7th in Tuscaloosa. Scott McClanahan will lead things off for the Tide as the middle third of the order is due to face the left-hander Tim Alvarez, who came on and did a wonderful job of getting out of a big jam 1 inning ago. Came on with runners at first and second, nobody out, and got the next man, or the first man he faced, Peter Stoner, to ground into a 6-4-3 double play, and then struck out Jeremy Brown to end the Alabama threat.
Alvarez is a unique pitcher. You don't really see left-handers coming from down there. You see right-handers all the time coming out of the bullpen on right matchups. Left-hander coming in there. He's going to get a little more run. Ball's going to run away from the right-hand hitters as long as he stays with his hard stuff. Once he goes to his soft stuff, he'll go right into their hitting zone.
1-1, chopped foul above the Alabama dugout as the count moves to 1-2. McClanahan probably thankful to lead off an inning to try to give him the feel of being a leadoff man once again. He has only hit 4 of 28 since moving into the cleanup spot in the Sunday game in Baton Rouge, the regular season finale. Hit in cleanup spot in the SEC tournament as well. Trying to get something going for the Tide. 1-2 misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Alabama 13-0 all-time in NCAA tournament games here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. And they have lost just 2 games this season. Those both came to the Ole Miss Rebels. 2-2, fly ball. Plenty of room for Vern Hatton in center. And he'll make the catch for out number 1.
That's the one thing Coach Hogan's going to try and see how long he can ride Alvarez right now. He's going to try and stay hard as he can away from the Alabama hitters to keep them from pulling it down the line on the porch down there.
Brent Boyd will come to the plate. Tide co-captain had a sac fly RBI in the first, but then flew out to right in the third. He walked in the 5th inning.
Brent Boyd is one of the Alabama hitters who will go the other way with a pitch. Earlier in the game, he hits one to the warning track in the right center gap out there, so he's got a chance.
(1-0) called a strike. Evens the count at 1-1.
Alvarez moving it in and out. Left-hander is going to start it at the right-hander's hip to get that inner half. It looks inside to a right-hander when he takes that step because they haven't seen this type of pitcher.
The 1-1. Outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2.
That's the breaking ball right there. It floats on the outer half and just stays right on that outside half. Starts way out and then comes right back in for the right-hand hitter.
The 1-2. Threw his bat out there at it and was able to fight it off and hit it into the seats as it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thought he was going to lose the handle on that one completely as he just flipped the bat out there to stay alive.
It's one thing you don't prepare for. You see some right-hander guys from down under, but left-handers from down under, it's tough to face. And guys in the Alabama bench, I'm sure, hadn't seen one all year.
Another one that is fouled off as Boyd battles to keep his at bat alive. Grant Redding has grabbed a bat and stepped into the on-deck circle for Alabama. He would pinch hit for Chad White. Here you see the Homewood, Alabama native who has platooned in left with White the last few weeks. 1-2. That was not a typical Brent Boyd swing. Again, just fighting off the pitch to stay alive.
Never say die right there. That's the fastball right at his hip. That with the run from throwing down under is going to come right back across the plate. That time it did not come back across the plate.
Looked like he was swatting at a bee with a rolled up newspaper instead of trying to hit a pitch inside. The 1-2 again. Fly ball. That one is ripped, but it's foul. Boy, got all of that one. But ripped it foul in the Alabama bullpen area.
We got a good battle going on right here. As you can see, Alvarez is staying hard, though. He threw 1 breaking ball on the outer half for a strike, then everything else has been hard, hard, hard. Coach Wells going to his right-hand hitters, which you try and do when a guy goes from down under, loaded up with the other-handed hitters. We have a left-hand pitcher on the mound throwing from down under, so Alabama's going all right-handers as much as they can.
Boyd's fouled off about 4 in a row. Hits that one to deep left field. Going back is Hopkins. He looks up, but this one will be out of play into the bullpen area. Thanks for that shot, guys, in the truck, because I had no idea. I was watching along with the folks at home. When it gets down to that corner, we are completely blocked off from the view, actually, in either corner. As the Bama fans show their appreciation for the battle that Brent Boyd has had with Tim Alvarez.
There's not a lot of foul territory here at the Joe.
Another 1-2. Fly ball, center field. Hatton will make the catch. As that one was hit on the button, but the battle is won by Alvarez. And what a battle it was with Brent Boyd in that at bat.
It's a great job right there by both Alvarez and Boyd. That's a great battle. The ball was hit on the nose just right at someone. Alvarez kept pouring it in there, 1 and 2, didn't get back off, kept going right at him.
So Grant Redding will check in with home plate umpire Chuck Lyon. Redding has hit .427 on the year. Incredible turnaround from a season ago. 32 of 75 with a couple of homers and 18 RBI. Tide looks for base runners. They have not had an answer for Tim Alvarez. He has worked an inning and 2/3 now, allowing not even a single base runner. He struck out one. No hits, no walks. He has been dominant against the Tide.
Just throwing the ball right in the zone, making them put it in play.
Redding taking a strike. It's 0-1. He will almost definitely stay in the game to play left field.
Alvarez's arm slot staying down, but Alabama hitters are right on them. They hit some balls hard, just right at people.
0-1 sails inside, evening the count at 1-1. Chad White had gone 1 for 3, hitting in the 6th spot in the order. Struck out, singled, and flew out. As a concerned Jim Wells looks on as his team bats with 2 out, nobody aboard here in the bottom of the 7th inning in Tuscaloosa. 1-1, popped up right side, could be playable. First baseman Hoffman will have room, and he will make the catch for out number 3. So after the Indians go in order in the top of the 7th, Bama goes 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 7th, and they still trail 7-4 going to the 8th.
Got a minute?
Leading number 3 national seed Alabama 7-4 as we go to the top of the 8th. First pitch to David Lawson is swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Grant Redding, who pinch hit for Chad White in the bottom of the 7th, stays in the game to play left field for the Tide. Fly ball, going to be a tough play. I don't believe McClanahan will get there. He won't. It's up against the wall. Lawson holds up at second. It's a leadoff double as the Indians have now recorded 10 hits on the night.
Shane Carter gets him to chase the changeup first pitch, then tries to throw the fastball away. Stays with it, hits it in the gap for a stand-up double. That's a great piece of hitting right there. McClanahan runs it down, gets it back in. I think Coach Hogan might butt him up. Not real sure with a left-hand hitter. Might just be playing for the pulled ground ball right here. Try and move him with the left-hander up.
Maybe waiting for another extra base hit.
Didn't show bunt.
Of the 10 hits, 6 have been of the extra base variety.
Hoffman's back in the box right there.
He's had 3 sacrifice bunts on the year. He is showing bunt here.
That was a foul ball.
Yeah. Ball hit the bat after bouncing off the ground. So
ball hits the bat twice. Foul ball. It's a great call by the home plate umpire.
Never hesitated in making that call. It's 0-1. As the third base coach, Scott Southern, former University of South Alabama standout, comes down for a visit. There's Coach Southern. We talked about it. He, along with pitching coach Jeremy Tyson and their head coach Mark Hogan, have all had experience facing Alabama in some capacity. Mark Hogan is an assistant at Mississippi State. Southern is a player at South Alabama, and Jeremy Tyson is a player for the LSU Tigers.
I think right there he was telling him you're in a sack position. Don't try and run before you bunt it. We need the ball bunted on the grass right at the third baseman. Make him field it so we can move the runner right there. Hoffman was about 3 steps out of the box when the ball hit right there.
St. Charles, Missouri native, a redshirt freshman trying to move the runner to third. That's David Lawson at the bottom of your screen. The runner at second base. The Indians try to pick up victory number 37 on the year. That would tie a school record. Back to the mound. The throw to third base is perfect by Carter, and they cut down Lawson.
Deja vu from earlier in the ball game right there. As the hitter, you want to bunt it anywhere but right where he bunted it, right back to the pitcher. Carter does a great job fielding it, throwing a strike to third base to Rice, tagging him out. Eliminates a chance for the Indians to score another run right there. That's a great piece of defense by Alabama.
So a man aboard for Ryan Govek, who hit a 2-run homer in the second inning. He takes a strike at the letters. It's 0-1. 4,020 the attendance, over 7,300 combined watching the first day of action. Game number 1 and game number 2 here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. 0-1, drops in for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2.
That's a big play right there for Alabama. Sitting at home, you don't know how big that is to get that runner out of there. You keep it to a 3-run ball game instead of a 4-run ball game. If they can get this ground ball right here, double play, this place might erupt again to try and get them going low offensively.
1-2 the count. Alabama down to its last 6 outs. They trail by 3. Mentioned it a couple of times. Bears noting again. Southeast Missouri State jumped on the board first in this game. They are 20-1 this season in games in which they score first.
They've battled all night long. They've never fell behind. They've been up all night long, and they've stepped up to the plate and hit the ball with authority.
They led at one point 4-1. That was their first 3-run lead. Bama tied it with a bases loaded double. Bases clearing double by Jeremy Brown. Knotted the score at 4 apiece in the second. But 2 runs in the fourth, a single run in the fifth. Gave us a 7-4 ball game as that one is hit to center field. McClanahan will make the play. And there are now 2 gone here in the 8th as the top of the order comes to the plate for Southeast Missouri State. Denver Stuckey, the third baseman, who tripled to start the offense for the Indians. Back in the first inning, he then grounded out. He doubled to score a run in the fourth, and he flew out to center field. 2 for 4 on the night with a couple extra base hits. Breaking ball blocked nicely by Brown.
Great job.
Trying to keep the runner out of scoring position where a base hit
I think Brent
allowed him
Floyd
to cross the plate.
I think Brent Floyd's walking out there to make sure Carter stops in the set position. Right there, he sort of went through without stopping. A new college rule, you have to stop for at least 1,000 completely. You can't just change directions or anything like that.
Hoffman getting his lead from first as the 1-0 is hit to center field. Well hit. McClanahan drifting back, but he has room, and he'll make the catch for the third out of the inning. No runs despite the leadoff double. No errors and 1 runner left. We go 11-8 after trailing 6-2 at one point in that game. Alabama trails this one 7-4 as we go to the bottom half of inning number 8. Adam Pavkovich, Zach Welch, and Alan Rice are due up, although Welch will likely be lifted for a pinch hitter in Bo Harrod. In fact, Harrod has already grabbed a bat near the on-deck circle. Pavkovich due for a hit. He's reached base twice, though. Hit by a pitch in the second and then walked in the fifth. That was sandwiched around a strikeout. It's Tim Alvarez, who has not allowed a man to reach base. It's coming on 2 innings ago. Starts Pavkovich off with a pitch outside. It's 1-0.
It'll be interesting to see right here if Coach Wells goes to his catch-up game where they're going to take a strike, being down 3 with 2 at-bats to go. 6 at-bats. Make the pitcher throw a strike, and then we'll go to work.
He evens the count there, 1-1. Tide looking for base runners, down by 3. 1-1, slap foul to the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes, now the count.
Boy, Alvarez is doing just what Coach Hogan wanted. Go out there, locate your stuff in his zone, make them swing. If they're going to beat us, they're going to hit it to beat us. We're not going to walk them and give them the free pass.
The 1-2 just misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pavkovich struck out in the 3rd inning. And I think he was concerned he may have struck out right there. He looked that one all the way back into the mid of the catcher, Tristan McDonald. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fisted him inside. Stuckey throws on to first in time to retire the leadoff man again for Alabama. This one here in the 8th inning.
Boy, Alvarez has done a great job out on the outer half of the plate. Then all of a sudden busted him in. You saw it in the last inning against Boyd. Boyd had to swing where the ball was right under his hands. That left-hander from down under, like we said, the ball's just running a different way.
They've actually got a left-hander from down under. It is the man that will start tomorrow's game, Brad Purcell, an Australian. Not an underhand delivery, just a guy from down under. Bo Harrod, the pinch hitter, 0 for 1 this year in that role. But on the season, hitting at a pretty decent clip, 320, 5th best on this Alabama team. He takes a strike at the knees, and it's even at 1-1. Harrod with 10 home runs, 3rd on the team in that category, and 49 RBI, also 3rd highest on the squad. Had a good rip at that one, but fouled it back. It's 1-2.
Coach Wells loading that lineup with right-handed hitters.
I don't think you'll see Alan Rice. You might see Rice bat. He has actually swung the bat pretty well against left-handers.
Yeah, but this is a unique left-hander right there.
It is indeed, and there's Carlos Sosa, who has grabbed a bat. In fact, the bat right out of Alan Rice's hand to stand into the on-deck circle. Man that most folks thought would be the starting shortstop for Alabama this year, but suffered an Achilles tendon injury that required surgery in the offseason. As Harrod goes down swinging, and there are 2 gone here in the bottom of the 8th.
Boy, Alvarez has been the answer right now. There it is again. Hard stuff away. Hard away. Alabama's hitters just can't catch up right now. They're a little bit behind.
2nd strikeout recorded by Alvarez. That is the 5th of the night for the Southeast Missouri State staff. And Carlos Sosa will pinch hit. Sosa's hitting .265. 27 hits in 102 at-bats. He is appearing in his 37th game on the year. Sosa 6'1", 195, a junior college transfer from Veracruz, Mexico.
We'll see if Alvarez starts him off with a fastball all the way, just like he's done everyone else, to get ahead in the count.
Misses inside there. It's 1-0. Rice had gone 1 for 3 on the night. He hit into a fielder's choice and scored in the 2nd. Popped out in the 4th and then singled, but was stranded at 2nd in the 6th. Actually stranded at 3rd base in that 6th inning. There's a strike at the knees, and it's even at 1-1.
Now the Alabama hitters have to look to try and hit the ball to right field. He's been staying out there. Till they get 2 strikes is when he comes in. Early in the count, he's away.
That one is roped to left. Hopkins is there and makes the catch right at the wall. That one was hit on the button, but Hopkins had him played perfectly. Alabama goes in order. We go to the 9th, an upset in the making as the Indians lead the Tide in Tuscaloosa.
Got a minute? Introducing Jet Wet. Why?
Guys came out of the dugout swinging, and they're still swinging it right now for the lower seed teams.
Hopkins has not had a hit today, although he's reached base safely twice in 4 trips to the dish. Brent Carter's done a nice job in relief of the starter Shane Sanders. He is not allowed a run after Sanders gave up all 7 runs and 9 hits in 5+ innings of work. Carter has only allowed 1 hit. He's only walked 1 man. 0-2 pitch. Misses upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hopkins, the left fielder. Hopkins, Bonilla, and Hatton due up 2, 3, and 4 spots in the Southeast Missouri State order. You know they would love to add at least 1 more insurance run here in the ninth.
It'll be interesting if the leadoff guy gets on right here.
Sosa charges, fields, throws in time for the out. Carlos Sosa does stay in the game, and he gets a tough play right out of the blocks, but makes it easily.
Well, that's why he was the starting shortstop earlier in the year. Sosa's a great defensive player. As you see right here, ball hit down the line, and that's not an easy play. Scoops it up, makes a throw all in one motion to get a good runner right there in Hopkins. Now Bonilla steps in.
He really started all the trouble for Alabama in that first inning when he had the 2-run double.
Sure did. There he goes again.
First hit from the right side, though, as he strokes a solid single into left field. Only the second hit given up by Carter, but the 11th hit of the night for Southeast Missouri State. And Vern Hatton, who has gone hitless on the night, comes to the plate. Couple of strikeouts looking, a ground out, a pop out for the top offensive threat for the Indians coming into tonight's game.
The Southeast Missouri State Indians are sitting in that dugout saying right now, come on, Mr. Hatton, do what you've done all year. Get us a big hit and get us a few more runs right now. He's pressed all night long, but we'll see what he can do.
1-0 pitch. Tapped foul. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Alabama is scheduled to send the top of the order to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning. Garner, Stonard, and Brown.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Hogan starts the runner at first base with the left-hand pitcher on the mound up by 3. His leading offensive guy up. Great hit and run count right here.
1-1 grounded to Stonard. Could be 2 to Pavkovich for 1 on the first double play. We'll see if the twin killing sparks the Alabama offense. Southeast Missouri State 3 outs away from the upset. We'll see if Bama has any life left in Tuscaloosa. You're watching CSS.
Be sure.
Talked about, but only about 4 hours earlier. Tomorrow, Auburn facing the loser of this ball game, either Southeast Missouri State or the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Tigers were upset by Florida Atlantic earlier today, 16-11, dropped into the losers bracket. Alabama, the top seed, on the ropes, but they've got the top of the order coming to the plate to face Tim Alvarez here in the bottom of the ninth. Travis Garner, Peter Stonard, and Jeremy Brown all scheduled to face the left-hander who has not allowed a base runner since coming on 3 innings ago. Alabama's won only 1 game in the 9th inning this year. That was a walk-off home run by Brent Boyd that allowed the Tide to beat Auburn on Saturday in their weekend series. The biggest deficit Alabama has come from behind in this year. An 8-1 deficit to Southeastern Louisiana after the 7th inning.
Chris, if you're Alabama, you got to like your chances with your 1, 2, and 3 hitters up. On the other hand, if you're Southeast Missouri, you got Alvarez on the mound, and you still have your closer in the bullpen. Hadn't been on the mound yet.
Mark Frazier, the lefty who's made 25 appearances on the year and picked up a team-high 5 saves, is that closer that Tim Parenton was referring to. 1-1. Popped up. Shortstop Borowiak with plenty of room and fair ground will make the catch for out number 1. A lot of pop-outs by the Tide tonight. And there's one gone.
Happen when you got a left-hand pitcher throwing from down under with ball running away, guys pulling off, hitting it off the end of the bat.
"11 fly ball outs by the Tide tonight. 6 ground outs. One of them coming off the bat of that man, Peter Stonard. Started a 6-4-3 double play, which was the last serious offensive threat Alabama had. Tide had runners at first and second with nobody gone. Stonard grounded out for a double play, and then Jeremy Brown was retired to leave a runner stranded at third. But there's a man aboard with one out, and Jeremy Brown coming to the plate. So the Tide gets its first base runner against Tim Alvarez. And it brings Brown to the plate.
Last time Brown faced Alvarez, he struck him out with a fastball in. That's one of the few fastballs he did throw in.
That pitch was in. It's 1-0. Talked about it in the open, but Southeast Missouri State 20-1 when they score first. They scored first tonight. They have yet to trail. 1-0. Misses. It's 2-0. The only loss in that mix came on May 12th. Eastern Illinois got a grand slam at the top of the night off the man on the hill, Tim Alvarez.
I'll be surprised if Coach Hogan lets him stay out there to see the bases get loaded. Get Mark Frazier in the pen. Jeremy Brown's the guy you want up right now. You want him and McClanahan to have it in their hands, have a chance to tie this thing up right now.
.20 in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Southeast Missouri State, a program that enjoyed success at the Division II level, had struggled since moving to Division I until Mark Hogan took over. They could be an out away from their biggest win in school history since moving to that level, and they are. Another pop out caught by Boroviak, and Scott McClanahan is the last chance for the Tide. The Indians are looking for their third win against an SEC team this year. Alvarez is 1-0 against the SEC. He picked up the victory in the May 14th win at Arkansas. And McClanahan is all that stands in between Alvarez and a 2-0 mark against SEC foes. He is hitless on the night, and he's behind in the count here, 0-1.
Boy, Alvarez has done his job. He stepped on the mound and threw strike after strike. You can see Southeast Missouri's outfielders way back on the warning track right now.
The 0-1 popped up. This should do it. Bonilla calls everybody off. He'll make the catch, and the Indians of Southeast Missouri State have knocked off the nation's #3 seed. The Alabama Crimson Tide falls in front of the home crowd by a score of 7-4. 7 runs on 11 hits. No errors by Southeast Missouri State. 4 runs on 8 hits. No errors by the Crimson Tide. Alabama is knocked into a loser's bracket game with Auburn tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central. We'll talk with a winning head coach. We return to Tuscaloosa right after this on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast.